147,000 jobs.
Analysts were predicting an addition of 117,500 jobs last month, a figure lower than the 139,000 jobs added in May, according to the data firm FactSet. Even with an anticipated slight uptick in the unemployment rate, the number is still low enough to suggest most American workers continue to enjoy job security.
Correspondent George Williams says the unemployment rate fell to 4.1% last month. We're getting closer to a House vote on President Trump's spending and tax cut bill. Lawmakers debated the bill overnight. Pennsylvania Republican Glenn Thompson saying it includes much-needed reforms that will help preserve vital food assistance.
We're saving nearly $200 billion by restoring integrity to SNAP, closing loopholes, reinforcing work, and ending on-check state abuse, all while preserving the program for the truly vulnerable.
Pennsylvania Democrat Brendan Boyle argues it would gut social spending.
The bill still kicks 17 million Americans off their health care. Record cuts to Medicaid, record cuts to the Affordable Care Act, record cuts to Medicare.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise accusing the Democrats of resorting to scare tactics and false claims the bill's tax cuts would only benefit the super rich.
Question, why does the other side keep hiding behind billionaires as their excuse to vote no? Because they made a decision, Mr. Speaker, early off. They don't want to give people back their money.
Last night's mass shooting outside a Chicago nightclub left 4 people dead, more than a dozen others to the hospital. On Wall Street, ahead of the opening bell, the Dow futures up 46 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're living with pain, see how Relief Factor can help.
My back got injured very bad. I was off work for about a year. I heard about Relief Factor from my wife. I took it every day, 3 times a day for 3 weeks. Look at her and I said, the pain is gone. And she said, I'm glad it helped. I said, no, you don't understand. It's gone.
Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. Go to relieffactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
Dr. Howard D.C., founder of Balance of Nature and formulator of the fruits and veggies and fiber and spice supplements, has teamed up with veterinarian Dr. Jake to create Dr. Fido's Dog Food Topper, a tasty, nutritious way to enrich your dog's meals. Just scoop, sprinkle, and stir. Call 888-388-7297 or go to drfidos.com, drphytos.com. And for a limited time, order now and receive a 10% discount with our money-back guarantee by using promo code BALANCE.
Rescuers in Indonesia continue searching for 29 people missing after a ferry sank and 5 people died near the resort island of Bali.
The ferry Tunu Pratama Jaya sank 25 minutes after leaving Ketapang port in the eastern part of Java Island en route to Bali Island's Gilimanuk port. The incident occurred at around midnight local time and was reported by port authorities who witnessed the vessel go down, according to the search and rescue team. Rescue teams continue to scour the area, hoping to locate the remaining passengers and crew. The cause of the sinking remains under investigation. The ferry operator told local media that the vessel had reported engine trouble shortly before it sank.
The BBC's Hannah Summersea. A Kurdish rebel group announcing plans to start disarming as part of a peace process with Turkey, saying its fighters in northern Iraq will start handing over their weapons next week. Townhall.com. The vacancy sign is on at Florida's new destination for criminal illegal aliens.
It's known as Alligator Alcatraz.
President Trump this week hailing a new detention center deep in the Florida Everglades.
This facility will house some of the most menacing migrants, some of the most vicious people on the planet.
The first group of immigrants are set to arrive Wednesday night. Florida's Attorney General saying they'll number in the hundreds. The center was built in 8 days over 10 miles of Everglades. It features more than 200 security cameras, more than 28,000 feet of barbed wire, and 400 security personnel. I'm Ben Thomas.
Tesla stock has been gaining ground after the electric vehicle maker reported delivering nearly 374,000 of its Model 3 and Model Y automobiles last quarter. That was better than analysts had been expecting. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy UFO Festival Day
Yes,
one day.
The barricades are up, the detours are up, and the chaos is up.
Yes, if you're trying to go down Main Street,
try again.
They have downtown from 5th to 3rd blocked off here. So, by the way, I pulled in this morning to work, and I got cars detoured down, but I come down 3rd, and then parked where I normally park.
Sure.
Already, as soon as I'm coming, idiot moving barricade to go drive down. One idiot in a green SUV had to park on 3rd Street.
License plate number.
Right? Had to park on 3rd Street by the bank.
Now, I think that if I may,
Yeah.
because I pulled in shortly thereafter,
Yeah.
those people were in the process of moving stuff into the building or out of the building because they had a dolly, and we came in at the same time. So
I don't care.
now I drove. They left a wide enough berth. Now, granted, I drive a subcompact.
Yeah.
But they left a wide enough berth on those those signs.
Yeah.
You can get past them.
Yeah. I guess the way the angle, he was coming out of the alley, and because I was turning into the alley, and then and then they literally stopped, almost preventing me from. I had to finagle around to get them so they can move the barricade, and I'm just like, there's a barricade there for a reason, idiot. You're not supposed to be going down it. But people do what they want.
Yes, that is true. So just exercise caution. Give yourself a little extra time to get where you're going. No Main Street travel. Take Virginia, Richardson. They're both going to be pretty busy, so bear that in mind as well.
Yeah. Also, as far as like today's and how things now, really things will kick off here this afternoon. As far as the festival downtown stuff goes. But like if you want to sign up for like the 5K, Alien Chase 5K and all that, you can, beginning at 8 o'clock this morning, head to the Recreation Aquatic Center and get your sign up packets and everything for that. The Miniatures and Curiosities Collections Museum, they're going to open up at 10 this morning. So if you're festivaling and you're waiting for everything to start up, swing on over the next block over and head over there, and they've got a special UFO festival exhibits and stuff over there too.
By the way, right over there, about 3 doors down from the Miniatures Museum, there's a new coffee shop that just opened up. Yeah. I said the name wrong the first day. It's Degenerate Coffee, not Degenerate. Is it Degenerate? Yeah.
Degenerate. Okay.
But it's they do their own beans, I guess, and they do cold brew.
Okay.
So stop by if you're jonesing for a little cafe.
I love how, like, and that's the trend now, where it's like if you want to have something but make it sound cool, make it sound like it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Deplorable.
Right.
What are you? Oh, we're a preschool kids toy store.
Oh, we're called We Stink Hamburgers.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because there's a company called Mr. Charlie's. It's a restaurant that opened up. I think they only have maybe 1 or 2 locations.
Yeah.
And their whole design is to look like McDonald's, but it's like very Art Nouveau. So they have like new wave art inside and stuff. And they're completely vegan. But they sell something called the Sad Meal. And it's a vegan version of a Happy Meal. It comes in a whole little box and everything.
Yeah, this sounds like a place I can't wait to get to.
I know. Apparently, it's a huge deal, and their food is I guess legit. It's not bad.
I blame the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Everyone starts talking about parallel universes. Next thing you know, they're like, I bet we could make that.
But okay, so that's fine. So we've got the Happy Meal now. We've got the sad meal. Whatever happened to the I'm fine meal?
I'm content.
It's just gray.
Yeah.
It's like
I have no
here.
opinion meal.
It's a bowl of top ramen.
That's right.
A mirror to look at yourself. Ask what happened.
Kraft mac and cheese.
Ooh, the Easy Mac.
But anyway, back to UFO Festival. But yeah, like I said, the Miniatures Museum will open up at 10. They'll start playing music around 1. The UFO Festival activities and vendors and all that's going to open up at 3 today till 10 o'clock tonight. Don't forget the drone show. Got your tickets to the drone show. You don't need tickets. They're free. They're going to be downtown here at 9 o'clock tonight will be the drone show. Hopefully, that's the sound of me knocking on wood.
It's a lot of knocks.
That's a lot. Well, we need a lot of knocking because the weather report says we got like a 60% chance of rain today. So
fun.
So I want to make sure I knock on wood to kind of knock some of that mojo off.
It was an anti-rain dance.
Yes.
It was a dry knock.
So hopefully, you can go to UFOfestival.com to go get a complete schedule of all the events and everything happening over the next several days here at the UFO Festival through Sunday.
Indeed, or pick up the latest edition of the Roswell Daily Record. The Vision is in that.
Actually, not the latest. Yesterday's paper.
Well, that's the latest.
They haven't put out for today
I
yet?
think it's Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday they put out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, then. Yeah, it is the latest. I thought they did the daily still.
So get that Vision magazine out, and it'll give you all the skinny.
There you go.
All the nitty gritty.
That's pretty cool too, because it's got a lot of cool stories about some of the different bands and different things you're going to be there. Of course, lots of great, talking about all, kind of events that are not officially with the UFO Festival, but are kind of associated with the UFO Festival.
Adjacent.
Yeah.
They have connective tissue.
Some private businesses or whatever having their own shindigs and saying, hey, while you're out UFO Festival now, come on over.
Oh, lots of sidewalk sales.
Have a beverage.
I'm going to encourage some folks to check out if you haven't yet, UFO Fizz. It's right there on Main Street. They have a great selection of candies and some sodas you've probably never seen before.
Nice.
So
that'd be good. But it's official. Today's the day it's all kicking off.
Yep.
And but yes, Main Street is officially closed downtown here between 3rd and 5th or 6th Street.
Yes. Can I borrow one of those pens over there if you don't mind?
Just like this?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
A pencil?
That'll work.
Okay.
Get away from me, demon man! We need to talk. I found a story early this morning. We need to talk.
That escalated quickly.
Albuquerque Fire and Rescue confirmed an explosion started a fire that left 2 people injured and 2 structures burned Wednesday. It appears at this time that fireworks were the culprit of the explosion, says Lieutenant Jason Faher. Crews responded to the 9400 block of Woodland Avenue just northwest of the intersection of Banal Boulevard and Eubank Boulevard. Neighbors in the area told KOB4 they felt the floor shake as one of the houses exploded Wednesday. I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. At one point, about 16 Albuquerque fire rescue units were fighting the fire that began in one home and spread to another. That fire is out. There's still dozens of agencies that are on site. So
you blaming me for that?
You stay away from me, devil man. You've killed 2 people and started a house fire.
Let me put
your words.
Let me put your mind at ease.
Here's your pencil back.
Put your mind at ease.
Okay.
Maybe.
Huh?
Just maybe.
Yeah.
It's the 4th of July season.
Okay, sure. I'm not saying that the ingredients weren't there.
And people do dumb things because that's what people do.
He goes, now hear me out. Yeah, that's...
Put it this way. This ain't a hard shot to call, is all I'm saying.
That's true.
And I guarantee you there's going to be another one.
Just
because idiots do.
Store your fireworks in a dry place away from any sparks, away from any electricity. If you've got a shed that doesn't get power, put them in there.
Don't fire them off indoors either.
Something.
Idiots do
Take your fire hose, take your water hose, and spray a ring around whatever structure you're keeping your fireworks in.
Yeah.
Or, here's a thought, enjoy everybody else's fireworks.
There you go.
because everybody's going to be doing them.
Yeah.
You don't need
Why
to do
spend
them yourself.
thousands when you can watch other people's thousands of dollars
That's
go
right.
up in smoke?
It's the best. I'll sit there and run a tally, like at the city shows.
Yeah.
I'd be like, 20,000, 40,000, 60. Oh, that's got to be 100 right there with that little shower.
Man, so is the evolution from bean counter to firework counter?
Fireworks counter, yes. It's a beam counter.
Oh, UFO twist.
Yes. By the way, if I may, shout out that Jocelyn's band GDP is going to be taking the stage tomorrow at 3.
Trace o'clock
That's
on
right.
the main stage.
On the main stage.
Yeah.
So come check them out.
Come pop on by.
Mm-hmm.
Pop on by for a visit.
It'll be the ideal time to stop by. Perfect Friday afternoon. The hustle and bustles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Saturday is going to be the really busy day. So
Oh, yeah.
So come by Friday. You know, get your fill. Check out GDP. Get yourself some elotes.
There you go.
It's a good way to start a weekend.
Yeah, that's the fun part is the food crawl. Where you're like, all right, what weird food can you present me today? And then it's all those TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Let's get the show going.
Yes.
We're going to replay an interview this hour. On Monday, Don Schmidt with the International UFO Museum, UFOologist. I nicknamed him the godfather of UFOology. He joined us in studio on Monday. We're going to play that interview for you here in mere minutes. In the 8 o'clock hour, the UFO car is officially in town. Steve Anderson, the creator of said car, is going to join us on the radio. And,
That's going to
we'll
be a
talk
tough
about that.
drive. I mean, you're so wide.
Yeah.
You know, you can only go like probably 20.
I don't know. How would that?
Plus with winds, if you're driving through like Texas, that area.
He must get some speed because he left like Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
And he's here now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he came from Indiana, I believe.
Now maybe.
Yeah.
Aliens.
I mean, maybe it flies. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think there was less pullovers this time. So maybe he went stealth mode.
That's good news. Ask him if he went as the crow flies.
As soon as you said that, I got a weird image of Brandon Lee. But anyway.
Poor fella.
So Steve will join us in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico will join us. They've got 4th of July activities. They like to invite folks out on Friday, tomorrow. They're going to have a stock car out there and, good old-fashioned 4th of July. And then, of course, they'll have special hours during the weekend as well. Plus, we'll talk a little John LeMay. He's going to be at Galacticon promoting his book, so we'll throw some shine on him.
The book that we received in the mail.
I know. I gotta mention that. That's the first time I've ever gotten. Like, John just gives me his books, and it'll just, hey, man, thanks. And I'm like, hey, we talk about them. I got like an official package in the mail from like a publicist.
Yeah.
And it was John's book, his latest book about the ghosts of Lincoln County, or I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyway.
I think it's Haunted New Mexico.
Yeah, they're Haunted Lincoln County.
Yeah, Haunted Lincoln County, yeah.
And so I was like, wait a minute. And it was like, wow, this is like all like,
official.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But, so I'm going to mention that to Amy today when we talk. Like, guess what I got in the mail? But, all right, it is 7:18. Let's get you up to date with the weather. Like I said, we're dealing with rain today, but not so much after that. Just sunny and hot.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We could still get a few showers or thunderstorms today. Mix of sunshine and clouds, and we'll be in the mid-80s. Maybe a leftover shower till about midnight tonight. A few clouds, and we're in the upper 60s, and then everything dries out for Independence Day. We're looking pretty good. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures will be warming up a little bit. Mid-90s on the high, and then sunny and hot for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 71 degrees here in Roswell. It says overcast, but guess what? I see a little sun. It's officially partly cloudy in my world. Humidity is at 20%, which I find that hard to believe. It seems a little low, but they're saying what they're saying. Winds are calm at the moment. We are looking at a 60% chance at more showers today. They're talking mainly for the afternoon, after 3 o'clock today. Partly cloudy with a high of 84. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They say new rainfall less than 1/10 of an inch unless we get a thunderstorm. Tonight we're looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly before 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly clear with an overnight low of 68. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. So I'm thinking Our sweet spot's between 3 and 9. Drone show's at 9 tonight, so I'm thinking maybe we'll get a green light for launch, hopefully. For your Independence Day tomorrow, sunny skies and a high of 95 degrees. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Yep, sunny and 95. Friday night, tomorrow night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 69 degrees. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, which is good for firework firing. Hopefully lighter winds means less chance of you blowing other people's stuff up. For Saturday, sunny skies, hitting 100 for a high with west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear Saturday night with an overnight low of 70. And for Sunday, we are looking at a 20% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny and 95. 30% for Sunday night, partly cloudy, overnight low 69. And then when you head back to the salt mines on Monday, 20% chance of rain, mostly sunny and 93. All right, 7:21. We're going to take a 2.5-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview we had on Monday with UFOologist and International UFO Museum, one of the main guys over there. Don Schmidt's going to join us here on the we'll play the interview we had with Don Schmidt from earlier this week on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
This is a nasty little termite. It loves nothing better than to eat your house, your subfloors, your walls, around your windows, and then they swarm around taunting you.
We're eating your house. We're eating your house.
You'd like to kill them, wouldn't you? But you don't want trenches dug around your home, and you don't want holes in your foundation. That's where Dow AgroSciences and the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System come to the rescue. The same system that protects the White House can help protect your house. An authorized operator strategically places Centricon stations around your house and then carefully monitors them for termites. If they're found, a professional inserts bait tube devices. The termites take the bait and they die.
I feel like I'm dying.
Kind of like that, only a lot more effective. In fact, Centricon is proven to eliminate the termite colony. Termites are gone with Centricon. No more colony, no more problem. Visit Centricon.com.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
Saddle up for a celebration of the bounty of Lee County during the 89th Annual Lee County Fair and PRCA Rodeo, August 1st through the 9th at the Lee County Fairgrounds in Lovington. With nonstop fun for the whole family, including an arts and crafts showcase, the carnival, concerts, Extreme Bulls event, and PRCA rodeos, the Pioneer Iron Chef contest, as well as the livestock shows, mutton bustin', fiddlers contest, and junior livestock sale, the Yucca building exhibits, plus 4-H and open youth, the flower show, farm and garden, creative arts, the special rodeo, commercial vendors, and of course, the best fair food around. The concert series begins Friday, August 1st with the Hispanic Heritage Celebration and continues nightly Tuesday, August 5th through Saturday, August 9th. Visit LeeCountyFair.net for more exciting news and updates. The 89th Annual Lee County Fair and PRCA Rodeo, August 1st through the 9th at the Lee County Fairgrounds in Lovington. Come celebrate the bounty of Lee County. We'll see you at the fair.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning. I'm going to do it because it's tradition now. The godfather of UFOology. Don Schmidt back with us on the radio. Hey, Don, how you doing?
So good to be back with you, Mike. As I was just saying, we missed you at the museum when you used to actually set up a live broadcast. And
it was always fun because it was usually that Friday morning, which is usually kind of day one of the festival traditionally.
And it was rather spontaneous and kind of broken. Yeah. Like, could you grab me so-and-so or so-and-so didn't show up.
Yeah.
And,
one minute I'm talking to, someone like Travis Walton. The next minute it's another radio guy or podcaster. It was, and then you get the gamut. You get, and that's what I love about UFO Festival because it's as serious I mean, the serious side where you can really learn and understand, what millions of people have experienced and done.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also get into the nutty a little bit, too, where you get the people that...
It's funny you mention that because it was more on a lark. It was some years ago.
Yeah.
But where I was kind of challenged. Well, why don't you ever speak at, like, the science fiction conventions? And you're talking about the likes of Frederick Polk and Harlan Ellison and these famous writers. And it was like, well, you'll be rejected. I mean, because you're crossing.
We're hitting nonfiction over here.
And you're making their nonfiction, or you're making their fiction into nonfiction.
Sure.
And I was impressed. I was amazed that they took me in with open arms. I was doing nothing. Like Dragon Con, which is the second largest UFO or sci-fi convention in the world, 25,000 people. And I would be on the Walk of Fame, and everyone from like the late Adam West.
That's cool. So you got to meet the who's who.
Everybody.
But to me, that makes sense they embrace you because everything they're doing is really an homage to what you're doing.
Precisely.
Precisely.
I mean? I spent 2 years on the road with William Shatner.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk. That we were, as far as across the country. And I would do an hour on Roswell, and he would do an hour on William Shatner.
Yeah.
And, we'd sit in the back of limos together, and he would pepper me to ask me one question after another as far as on Roswell.
Yeah.
And so there was, you're absolutely correct, Mike, there was a lot of crossover.
And this is something, and this is something I try to tell the locals every year. And I mean, to a point, but this is it. This is the Super Bowl of UFO and everything else. When everybody thinks of aliens and UFOlogy, Roswell's the first word out of their mouth.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Worldwide. And I've been so blessed in that, I've lectured 3 times in China alone.
Yeah.
I had dinner one evening in Moscow with 2 of the cosmonauts. And that's all we talked about was Roswell.
Yeah.
But Japan, Australia, South America, throughout all of Europe, the UK, it's become a household word.
Yeah.
And this museum, this city, has become the Mecca.
And that's something I think a lot, and again, locals don't realize is, they think UFO museum.
Right.
I was like, you forget the other half, and research center.
Yes.
There is,
Yes.
Put it this way, if you're looking for UFO incidences and stories, the history, every data that's really collected on this subject, this is the Mecca for it. It's all here. You even the internet can't get you to places that you can get to at the UFO research side of the museum here.
The history of the entire state that is so often taken for granted. And I will, especially when I lecture on college campuses, and if the faculty happen to be present, I always pose the question, where was the first atomic bomb detonated? And, almost, without hesitation. Oh,
Sure.
of course, Japan.
Right.
Japan, yeah. These learned professors.
Those ones were used in actual play. They were tested a lot.
And when you educate them as to where, like 2 hours west of Roswell in 1945, Trinity site, that type of thing.
There's a movie called Oppenheimer. You can watch all about it now.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned it. It's a wonderful scene. And that's my favorite line in the whole movie. And just after the detonation, where they didn't know if they were going to blow a hole in the atmosphere or if it was going to be a complete dud.
Yeah.
And it works.
It's literally like now we're around 4th of July. I just think of like the old Bugs Bunny with the light the thing, and then when the fuse goes down and nothing happens.
Right.
And then
you use somebody.
It was literally some of that going on.
But anyway, Matt Damon playing General Leslie Groves, who was head of the Manhattan Project, and he's frantically running. I need to get back to Washington right away. And Oppenheimer says to him, "Shall I come?" And it isn't like, well, we don't. It was, why? In other words, why?
Yeah.
We don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
And that translates, pretty much to the whole situation, like at the former base here.
Sure.
And, the people in general taking for granted that they live in an historically rich state.
Absolutely.
That has, major attractions for the world. And it needs to be played up more. And I love that. And then when I'm here and I meet all these people through the museum, there were people from Scotland the other day. and invariably people come from Texas and all over. But I mean, there was a couple from Boston, and they were talking about that this was on their bucket list. I mean, how many communities can actually say they are on bucket list?
We're pretty much the only one of this size for sure. That ain't New York City or,
Ozzy Osbourne when he was here.
Yeah.
And his son Jack, when Jack was diagnosed with MS.
Yes.
And what immediately was on his bucket list?
They're right here. I'll never forget that day they were in town and everyone's running around looking for him.
Looking for him. And then when they started to surround the museum, and we're trying to devise a means to sneak him in and then out.
Yeah.
And we filmed with him for 4 days.
People were in the back alley and everything. It was crazy.
It was. But again, there was an excitement, an energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the people that just kind of hold up over the 4th, and they need to get out.
Sure.
And experience the fact that you have thousands of people from outside that for whatever reason they want to believe, they come here.
Sure. Well,
and
I
they
think,
enjoy themselves.
And that's the fun part, too. But I also think because all of us in one way, shape, or form has had their own unexplained experience.
True.
Whatever it is. It could be as simple as were those weird lights over there to Travis Walton, I got sucked up and was disappeared for 3 days, and something in between. We all have. I mean, President Carter, how many times have we had presidents say they've experienced things, and you and I have talked about conversations and things with, more was done, but, from a government level about some of this stuff. But
high-ranking officials, celebrities, that's the one, again, tremendous opportunity I've had. I mentioned the cosmonauts, and I met the ambassador to China.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, like I always tell the story as far as President Clinton, that when I mentioned, for example, that Roswell is mentioned in Ken Starr's report on the Monica Lewinsky affair.
Mm-hmm.
And when the grand jury subpoenaed the book that she had gifted him for Christmas, and when they retrieved it from his private study, they found it sandwiched between a book on Winston Churchill and an autographed copy to the president of our first book, UFO Crash at Roswell.
That's cool.
And then
that's got to be pretty cool, from your perspective.
It was like
a personal
when,
perspective.
George W. Bush came through Roswell that one time, and I had a call from the mayor's office. Can you overnight an autographed copy for the president? So then he received another book, and Donald Trump Jr., I've been told, has read 2 of my books.
Very
and
cool.
now there's talk about
me
doing something here. And so, again, people, please. Yeah. It's attracting the attention of presidents for a reason.
Absolutely.
Not because it's the silly season, not because it's hopefully it'll go away at some point. Embrace it.
I will tell you this. If you're the most skeptical person out there, I invite you this weekend and do it. Spend just an hour or two.
Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Walking around the museum and research center, talking to these various people. And at the very least, you're going to walk out of there and say, I don't know what I know, but I know something happened to some of these. And something happened.
Something happened.
And because there is too many people that have experienced too many things that cannot be explained, and they're irrational things from rational people.
I mean, we're having
too much of that.
We're having hearings in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I, regret. When we were working with your late Congressman Stephen Schiff, and we were pushing for congressional hearings on Roswell. And the fact that we had Washington very interested. And I had mentioned Bill Clinton. I mentioned George Bush. Donald Trump Jr. Jr. has brought this up to his dad repeatedly about releasing the Roswell files. Not the Kennedy files.
Right.
Not the Martin Luther King files. I mean, that's all part of it. But the point being that Roswell is part of that
At the end of the day,
equation.
That's the bigger impact of everything, yeah.
It would be, because as I know, from a skeptic to the point when I'm asked, Don, do you believe? And I'll go, no.
And
but
this is
99% convinced.
This is something
big difference.
We've talked about in previous conversation, but for folks who are just hearing Don and I talk or hear Don talk for the first time, you came in like literally, you're kind of your backstory here, growing up in Wisconsin,
I had
the novelist, but
the man. I was a special investigator with Dr. J. Allen Hynek, who was the scientific, head of Project Blue Book, the 20-year investigation by the Air Force on the UFO
There's
phenomenon.
a pretty cool History Channel series.
Which is fiction.
But it kind of at least gives you an idea what we're talking about here.
Yes. And the actor portraying Hynek, actually does, a splendid job, even in appearance.
He's in Game of Thrones, if I remember, too, if you're a fan of his work.
I believe so. But, I'm schooled very much into the scientific and very much into the nuts and bolts. I want to be able to kick the tires.
Yeah.
And that's what convinced me about Roswell. For all of these witnesses, it didn't matter if they were the highest ranking officer or down to someone who was a child back at that time, now grown up, but nonetheless describing the characteristics of that wreckage that, even by today's standards, defies conventional explanation.
Absolutely.
It was that, beyond, our comprehension.
And that's why I kind of, respect where your angle and because you literally went in saying this is hokum. I
was convinced we would come down for a weekend and prove that this was a weather balloon, as the government still maintains.
Yeah, and then you move on about your day and
go on to the next case that Hynek would assign.
And so that's why and that's why this is why I love UFO Festival, because it's full of folks just like yourself that either have had personal, and I mentioned Travis Walton because he's one of the more bigger known
celebrated,
names.
Correct.
Yes,
had a movie made about his experience.
And I grew up in a time where that movie, I was a teenager when that movie kind of was in the theaters and kind of was in the popular thing. And so I remember seeing it, and it was one of those movies I'm like, that was a crazy movie. And then I moved to Roswell years later and everything, and I meet the man and talk to him, and that's where it sealed the deal, like, for me. Because I'm like, I always thought that's a crazy story. But once I talked to Travis and just when you're in the room with the man, and hopefully you get a chance to experience that, he's going to be available to talk to all weekend at the UFO Festival.
For the full 3 days, correct.
Yeah, he'll be doing his own panel discussions, but he'll also be at a table and you can sit and chat with him.
Absolutely.
But just my experiences talking with that man, and, like, he's an awesome guy to talk to, real nice man. But just looking at him, he looks like a guy that's got PTSD. Like, he's seen something. Like, you could just... I don't know how to quite put my finger on it.
I've experienced with him.
Yeah.
We're very close, dear friends. And he even took me, I've been out to the actual site up in Snowflake, Arizona. And even into the to the phone booths when he was brought back.
Yeah.
And he called his brother to come get him in Heber, Arizona. And so there's a picture of the two of us as far as in two of the adjoining phone booths.
Oh.
Which, again, are still there.
That's
where
crazy.
There aren't phone booths anywhere.
Well, and
Heber has preserved them as almost like a landmark.
And you'd mentioned the crash site or the abduction site.
The abduction
not crash
site,
It was an abduction site. And I did watch. He has a DVD documentary that you can kind of get the story on.
And it was directed and produced by Jennifer Stein, who will also be here at the festival.
This is what's so great about UFO Festival. Because every name we talk about, you're like, oh, yeah, they're right over there. You know what I mean? Right. That's the beauty of this. But I remember in the documentary, and one of the things that gets me to this day, and this is the science side of it. If you go to the abduction site in Arizona, in the mountains in Arizona where this happened, and you go out there with some science, testing things.
Correct.
The trees in the area are stunted compared to others.
Different. The rings in the tree, for example, when they actually go back to 1975, when this took place, there is a visible change as far as in the ring growth at that time.
And like the soil around that area all got weird anomalies in it and everything else too. You can't explain that kind of stuff.
You can't. And the same as when we've had 5 archaeological digs at the Roswell debris field.
Mm-hmm.
And the area photographs before and after, clearly there's a difference after the fact, geologically, that you can tell that there has been some excavation, there's been some heavy equipment that has come into that area at a time when they did not have heavy equipment accessible out to that region.
Sure.
And it was just open grazing, as it still is. It's Bureau of Land Management, BLM, and it's just preservation property leased back to the ranch owners. And then even now with satellite imagery, that in infrared, that particular site is scorched as though something, and we're convinced that considering what they may have done back at that time to decontaminate the site, because when the ranchers were telling us that the cattle and the sheep wouldn't graze at that location for 5 years. So what could have affected, or created as far as that reaction on their part? And so we believe that they also went out with 55-gallon drums of bleach
and tried to whitewash the event
all over the area,
which makes complete sense to me, because that's what the government does.
And that would have been the army. That would have been the army at that time.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't care. Anybody says animals' instincts are way better than
they don't
humans.
hallucinate.
Yeah. When a dog does something,
Precisely.
I'm following that.
Yeah, exactly. Again, they see something up in the sky, they're seeing it.
Absolutely. Right. But so that's why I'm, over the years, I kind of was like the average person. You're like, oh, the green man, that's cute.
I know.
But since I've been in radio and since I've come and spoken with these folks and everything else, do I know? No. But I can tell you this. Something's happened to these people and something's legit. And I gotta also think it's very obtuse thinking that in all these galaxies and all these planets and all of this universe and universes, we're the only intelligent life in all of that? How narrow-minded thinking is that?
Well, I always like to point out that our library at the UFO Museum is the second largest in the world. And then I pose, obviously, the question, who would you believe has the largest? No one ever guesses correctly. It's the Vatican.
Interesting.
The Catholic Church. And then I joke they've had a few centuries head start on us. But the point
and I'm going to say this, too. Ours is way more accessible than theirs.
Precisely. Oh, my God. Don't I know that. And you make a good point, Mike, in that. And I've talked to Father Robert Spitzer, who's head of the Magis Center in Los Angeles, and he ran the observatory in Arizona for years. He's the lead Jesuit scientist in the church. And those Jesuits are all the scientists. These guys have multiple PhDs in all different fields of science. And so I've discussed this with him. I've also discussed this with Cardinal Timothy Dolan in New York. And I want access to the archives for just one phone call, because I remain convinced that then President Harry Truman, that when he got the phone call from wherever, that something of this nature happened down here in New Mexico. And they told him, it doesn't appear to be human. And I'm convinced one of the first people he would have called up would have been the Pope, would have been Pope Pius XII at that time. And basically, Your Holiness, what does the church know about
You know what? I'm thinking if I had that kind of
document that call. Yeah. Not the contents. If it's just within that time frame, that's all I need to know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it does. Because it fits the narrative.
It fits the narrative.
It absolutely
fits the narrative. Why? It's not to discuss church dogma.
Yeah.
I mean, Truman wasn't even Catholic, so.
Yeah, but you know what? When something from another world hits you, I'm talking to the guy. All right, who's the guy closest to God on this planet?
Whoever may have an answer.
I'm the president. I'm going to get the Pope.
But see, again, it demonstrates also the depth, the detail.
Yeah.
As now as even our investigation continues that, and sadly, and you even heard us make, and even the late Stanton Friedman, the nuclear physicist, that we would often comment that we're racing with the Undertaker. That this World War II generation
we're losing them all.
We're losing them all. And I can pretty confidently say that just about every last one of the first 10 witnesses from 1947 is now gone. So, but we're continuing because we're tracking down the families who can then speak for their fathers, their mothers, their grandparents, that type of thing.
But we're also getting...
And with the hope that they said something still. Before they went.
And that's kind of what we're getting is we're in that, like you said, we're losing everybody, but the ones we still have, like you said, it's like, okay, I'm on my deathbed, whatever threats
they say?
Whatever threats or whatever they told me to keep me quiet for all these years.
They can't hurt me now.
I'm not attached. Yeah. Yeah, and so we are getting truths
We
coming
have
out
over
of this.
30 deathbed confessions on 1947. every one of them admissible in a court of law. And not a one of them confessed to this being a balloon, a plane, a rocket, anything conventional. Each and every one of them said it did happen.
Well, and I would also say this, even in 1947, if they were doing some kind of experiments in the public that way, think about it. Every time they launch a missile at White Sands, they tell the radio, they tell everybody.
V2 rockets, right.
Yeah, they do everything. And so to me, that's just one of many red flags. But it's like this all went down in the middle of the night, and then they say, oh, yeah, it was just a weather balloon science experiment, or, oh, we were testing these dummies for impact, whatever different stories they give it.
Ridiculous.
Really, in the middle of the night and not tell nobody you're going to do something as boring or mundane as that?
Precisely. Yeah. And for those of us who spent a lot of time out there and who have even flown over the area in small planes and helicopters, once you are airborne, once you are, up 1,000 feet, you can see for 50 miles. It's totally unobscured. It's high desert. And the thought that anything was out there for days before anyone noticed it, before anyone quickly recovered it, especially if it was something top secret.
Sure.
Sorry, you're disqualified right there.
Yeah.
You don't know the area. You've never been out there. You're speaking from a keyboard, and you think you have answers, and you don't.
Right. It's just like, in modern times where they're dictating policies in D.C. that's out here in New Mexico by people that never set foot in the land.
Never been there.
Same kind of deal.
And I love it. It was like when we did Larry King for the first time.
Yeah.
And King, and it was when my partner, Kevin Randall, back then. And it was with the number one skeptic on the subject of UFOs, the late Philip J. Klass. And King finally, well, Mr. Klass, have you ever been to New Mexico? Well, no. Have you ever spoken to any of the witnesses? Well, no. Well, then what are you doing here?
You're just old man screams at cloud.
Precisely. I mean, so there again, it just demonstrated the the silliness of their whole attitude. And I just, again, I can't encourage your listeners enough.
Come see it.
Come see this.
Yes.
Embrace this. This has more than put Roswell on a global map.
Absolutely.
You're attracting people from all over the world. You're all sharing as far as in that notoriety, in that fame and fortune. But lest we ever forget that it is still for me to commemorate what a lot of men and women experienced back in 1947.
Yep.
Something that was unprecedented. And they didn't panic. They did their jobs. They worked their jobs. They continued raising their families. They continued going to church.
Yep.
It didn't destroy their lives as we would suggest that would be the effect today.
Sure.
And these people were directly involved. They held things in their hands. They saw things firsthand that they could not explain.
And they've been sitting here holding on to it for 50 plus years.
Yes.
And not able to tell nobody. And if they did, it was probably a very inner circle of immediate, and that's, I cannot imagine, like, I was in the Air Force, and yeah, I did some things, and, I had a clearance, and I did
You signed a non-disclosure when you left?
Yeah, and I've done some of that stuff. But at no point is it to the level of,
this was a lifetime.
Yeah, like to be honest, things that I were told were top secret 30 years ago, now you can read about on Wikipedia.
Precisely.
You know what I mean?
I had a gentleman approach me yesterday again. I said, well, how do you know for sure it wasn't something we were testing?
Yeah.
And it's like, again, that old tried and true, well, it was one of ours. I just explained.
Well,
if they were testing anything, first of all, it's the 4th of July weekend.
Sure.
Most of the base personnel are home on leave.
It's a
Nothing
holiday.
has been reported missing. They're not on standby should anybody report anything out of the ordinary. So, again, what did this represent? And it wasn't until that ranch foreman, W.W. Brazo, reports this, and not to the military. He goes to the courthouse and reports it to the sheriff, who then notifies the military. And with the military, you're talking about the elite, the 509 Bomb Wing in charge of the atomic bomb.
These were people getting people ready for World War II. These were, this was a very, in 1947, Roswell Army Airfield, or I don't know, I think it was still
Roswell Army Airfield,
still at that time, it had switched to Walker.
Yeah.
Was the tip of the spear for World
Precisely.
War II and training and everything else.
The two bombers, the two B-29 bombers that had dropped those two bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were hangared out here, Enola Gay and Boxcar, for a reason. And I had the late Colonel Robert Friend, who I knew very well, and we were having dinner one evening in Los Angeles, and I wasn't aware of the fact that he was stationed at Wright Field in Dayton, Ohio, where the wreckage and the bodies were shipped to, were transferred to.
That's what I tell people all the time.
There was no Area 51 back in 47.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 55, and then it was just a test range.
I hate to tell you this, Area 51, Tonopah Test Range.
Yeah.
See that plane behind me right there? That's where they started that thing in the black world. Before y'all learned about it in Gulf War I, that thing was hanging out
That's
at
an
Tonopah.
F-117.
That's a 117. Yeah. That's where its home was Tonopah Test Range, which y'all call Area 51.
Right.
During World War II and to this day, whenever we abducted not aliens,
Nazi technology,
enemy technology,
a Russian MiG fighter,
or German U-boat or anything else, they send it to Wright-Patterson Air Force
Foreign
Base,
Technology Division,
and they'll break it down. So if there's aliens and space technology, that's the one place in our country that could handle, beating a wrench on this thing and seeing what we can do.
And
with
that's and there too that clearly describes, as far as even the disconnect, as far as with the debunkers, the skeptics, the idea that why would a common off-the-shelf weather balloon of neoprene rubber, reflective foil, wooden stick, string, and tape have to be sent to Foreign Technology Division at Wright Field for testing and analysis.
Yeah.
And this is a matter of documented fact that even the Pentagon put out a press release that the wreckage from Roswell was going to Wright Field for testing. Why, if it's one of ours?
Yep.
Why, if it's one of ours?
There's no need, because if it was a Japanese Zero, we send it there. If it was a German U-boat, we send it there. Well, guess what? Something from another planet, guess where it's going to go?
Precisely. So getting back to Colonel Friend, and so I wasn't aware of the fact that he was at Wright Field. So because we had tracked down,
so he probably saw some things.
He did.
Yeah.
And so we were then interviewing all the people who were on the receiving end, like former base commanders and deputy commanders and people who worked at Foreign Technology. And so I was not aware that Friend was there in Dayton when the Roswell wreckage came in. And he says to me, broken arrow. In other words, an errant atomic bomb.
Yeah, I know that term. I was a weapons troop. That was stuff I had
broken
to learn.
Arrow. And I went, oh, that's interesting, Colonel, because are you aware that we didn't have any bombs in our arsenal after Fat Man, little boy? It wasn't until after the Soviets
all we had was the two.
detonated their first bomb in August of 49 that we quickly went back into production.
So we couldn't have had a broken arrow because there was none
and he's
existed.
Like this. He's just smiling at me like, you're not supposed to know that.
Man, you just hit memory because you said broken arrow because I remember my Air Force training. There's different. There's bent spear. There's different.
Bent spear,
and they all have different meanings on that kind of stuff. Matter of fact, they did a bad movie in the '90s called Broken Arrow.
That's correct, with John Travolta.
Yeah,
and Bob Gooten, who was in our Roswell movie. And
put it this way: that was a B-2. It does not have stealth mode. Everything in that movie is complete horse hockey.
As so many of them are.
But it's entertaining.
Speaking of movies, and just to inform as far as your listeners on how many of them are aware of the fact that Roswell has its own movie.
It does?
That we did the Roswell movie.
I was going to say, this was based off your
based off
books.
Of our first best-selling book.
Yeah.
And we were consultants on the picture. We had cameo appearances in the picture. We didn't film it here because we wanted to, we didn't need to be distracted.
Sure.
We had a lot of tourists watching, and
it's cheaper.
But the point being that Roswell has its own movie. We were nominated Best Picture, Made for TV movie, Golden Globes, and so all.
It's a good movie if you've never seen it.
Oh, and it still stands.
Yeah.
I mean, we've obviously come up with much more information in the last 30 years. But it's still, and the quality of the cast, everyone from Kyle MacLachlan, Martin Sheen, to Dwight Yoakam, Tim Grice, Bob Gooten, who I'd mentioned, Peter McNichol, Xander Berkeley, on and on and on.
It's got it does have an all-star cast now that I think about it.
And the funny thing, Mike, is both Kevin Randall and I were invited to the Golden Globe ceremony. And you're talking bigger than the Academy Awards because it's international.
Sure.
So, but all of Hollywood, and we would have been there. And there we are, that Sunday evening, Kevin Randall and I sitting in the lobby at the Ramada at the airport, watching and thinking and looking at one another and going, this is the stupidest thing we have ever done in our lives, because we'll never have such an opportunity again. But we, again, with Racing with the Undertaker, we were here doing our job.
Absolutely.
We were here researching and tracking down witnesses. And
trying to find the truth. The truth is out there. And that's
again, stupidest thing we've ever done. But nonetheless, it still demonstrated our commitment, our devotion.
But that's what makes everything great. And that's what and I know for you personally, you know, to be where you're at now, you begat to get that. So without that, you couldn't be here today with that. You
Precisely.
know, and that's what I love. And that's why
have been in LA for the ceremonies, and then one of our principal witnesses who we're tracking now may have passed, and we would have lost that opportunity that we were looking more for fame and glory, as opposed to we need to stay on the case.
We're about out of time. They're about to, for news and everything. But I do want to ask that question. And you mentioned Stanton Freeman earlier. And we lost him several years ago.
Dear friend.
Let me ask:
miss him.
Is there another one in the wings? Like, is there another Stanton Freeman that's going to pick up this baton and move on? Even say, because let's face it, you're not doing this forever. Is there that next generation that's going to kind of keep the torch going?
I'm very concerned that you have. And I'll use the word upstarts, rookies that know absolutely nothing about the history. They're futurists. They're very much into podcasts, and they're very much into celebrity
for likes and follows.
Yeah. And they don't do
the research.
Yeah, they don't do the research. They don't do the history, and they don't do the field work. They're not doing the investigations. They're riding off of our coattails, and I'll say specifically off of like Hynek's and Friedman's coattails without having done the grunt work, the gumshoe work, as far as actually going out.
Turning over the rocks and doing
being able. Hynek always emphasized to us, when you do your own research, it's yours. No one can take it away from you unless you give it to them. These people have no background in research or investigation.
Gotcha.
Stan would always say to me, Don, now it's up to you to finish it. And I took that
gauntlet. Take that charge personally.
I took that gauntlet, and I even saved on my answer machine the last 3 times he called me, leading up to even that last month before he passed. And as he was suffering more and more, and he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I always made sure, like at press conferences and even here at the museum, I'd sit next to him during panel discussions, and I would whisper answer, and he'd always slap me. That's why I love you, Don. That's why I love you, Don. Yeah. So we took care of one another. And
maybe that'll inspire our next true is this weekend. Come out. Like I said, good news is we get an extra day of festival this year because of the 4th of July and the city closed the thing. And so really Thursday, everything's kind of swinging with the street being closed and all that kind of stuff. So we get an extra day of festival this year. Utilize it. Take advantage of it. Come and yes, please do the costume contest, do all the fun, the music, all the shows, all the things are going to go on over the next couple of days. But please go into the International UFO Museum and Research Center.
Yes.
See and talk to people. Right. I'm telling you right now, whatever skepticism, whatever you have, once you are face to face with these people and you're talking to them and hearing, I'm telling you, you're going to change your
people
opinion.
That have lived it, the people who've experienced it, the people that have treated it and worked with those people and realize that this is something very serious.
Yep.
That, again, we're potentially talking about, as I've been saying, the biggest story in the past 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And it's high time that people at least start taking note that they reside in the very city that may have started it all.
Absolutely. This is the very, like when I remember growing up and things, and they always say, question, test things. And this is the pinnacle of the very reason why we do that.
Human nature being what it is, you have like the celebrity and all the shops and everything like at Graceland.
Yeah.
It doesn't deny that Elvis existed.
Yeah.
The same could be said about the Holy Land.
Well, it sparks the interest.
People will do what they will do to capitalize and exploit. It doesn't denounce, it doesn't, the Holy Land is still the Holy Land.
Like what brought you in. Same thing. I'm hoping this weekend there's going to be some 7-year-old kid walking through or whatever, and he gets inspired. And next thing you know. I love
that, Mike. I can't tell you how often that parents bring up the little children to me, and they are just like, starstruck as far and the questions they ask. There's my hope. the idea that these young people are ready, they're reading, and they're looking up at the stars, and they're just letting their imaginations go wild.
Maybe that next Stanton Freeman's out there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
Awesome. Well, Don, first off, is there anything you want to mention that we just got sidetracked on, or we covered?
Again, the fact that the investigation is still continuing, and for that reason, that Roswell will continue to still grow and progress as far as with attention by the media. There's absolutely no let-up as far as from even the international, as far as press, as far as on Roswell, because they too, see it as being the granddaddy of all.
And that's what's going to keep everyone honest when it stays in the public eye.
Precisely, because if we make a mistake, it paints a black eye on the whole city.
And then it gets so. But Don, as always, thank you for the visit.
With great responsibility, or with great power comes great responsibility.
That's right.
Spider-Man says.
Absolutely, that's words of wisdom, words to live by here. But Don, thank you so much. As always, love and
pleasure seeing you again and meeting your lovely wife.
And enjoy the week of another UFO festival.
And it's not going to be as hot as it could be. So that's
we might. Hopefully, the rain will cooperate and we'll be good there. But if it is raining, plenty of indoor space in the museum, and you can have all kinds of conversations.
Exactly. So, thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Don. We'll see you. I'm sure we'll see you throughout the week.
Of course. Look forward to it.
All right. It is
major tax increase. America's employers created 147,000 jobs last month, a surprisingly strong employment report. The June unemployment rate came in at 4.1%. That was down 0.1% from the month before. On Wall Street, stocks are higher. The Dow's been up about 147 points, while the NASDAQ Composite Index is ahead 159 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Rescuers in Indonesia searching for 29 people missing after a ferry sank and 4 people died near the resort island of Bali. The BBC's Hannah Summersea is in Jakarta.
The local search and rescue said the operation is being hampered by bad weather, and the local meteorology agency reported that the waves in Bali Strait, where the boat sank, are currently high. So they're waiting for the weather to get better, but they're still combing the area. The route itself is not common for foreign tourists. It is mainly for locals. The search and rescue team said that the boat itself reported engine failure right before it sank.
31 people have been rescued. Some survivors tell rescuers there appeared to be a leak in the vessel's engine room. Ukraine moving ahead with plans for joint weapons production with allies, while the U.S. halts some arms shipments to Ukraine. Townhall.com. We have another auto recall to tell you about.
Ford Motor Company is recalling more than 200,000 vehicles because a software defect can cause the rearview camera to fail, increasing the risk of a crash and injury. Ford told U.S. highway safety regulators that the camera can either display a blank image or that the image may remain on the display after the driver finishes backing up, causing a distraction. Dealerships will eventually update the camera software free of charge. Owner notification letters are expected to be mailed by July 28th. Keith Peters, Washington.
President Trump has announced a trade deal with Vietnam. It will allow U.S. goods to enter the country duty-free. Vietnamese exports to the U.S., by contrast, will face a 20% levy. Mr. Trump declares the agreement a great deal of cooperation between our two countries. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Doos. The tractor beam.
Oh, I thought that was like a Halloween thing.
I guess I could have gone.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. Happy UFO Festival Day 1. And
let the probing begin.
And the eve of July the 4th.
Mm-hmm. In case you ever wondered why aliens have extra long fingers, it's the probing.
Oh.
It's all the probing. Gotta have the tools for the trade.
So much probing.
Keep the supplies on hand for the job you want, not the job you have.
They drive. Never mind. People don't even remember them cars. Remember, Ford had a probe.
Oh, yeah,
Ford
they did have the probe, yeah. Yep. Not to be confused with the Pinto, which was more likely to send you into outer space.
Mm-hmm.
You rear end that thing just hard enough, you're flying into the stratosphere.
I know the Pinto well. That was my favorite vehicle of my mother.
Was it really?
Oh, so until...
Was it the curved back window?
Until, like, 1984, she owned nothing but Pintos.
Wow.
And the only reason she couldn't get one in 1984 is because they stopped making them, and her Pinto died, so she went to the Ford Tempo.
She had to move on. That actually kind of happened with our family, sort of.
Yeah.
So my dad started working for the company, weirdly not weirdly, because we worked it out this way, that my kid's mom works for now. But they had a company car at the time. And when we started, the company car was the Mercury Sable. So we had a white Mercury Sable.
Gotcha.
Well, the very next company car that they switched over to, I'm pretty sure they were still making the Sable at this time, but they switched to a Ford Taurus.
Which is in essentially the same car.
Basically, yeah, it's just a
the Mercury, the Ford version
sedan.
of the Mercury, yeah.
I remember the Ford Taurus specifically, and this is a really silly thing.
Yeah.
But I was young enough that it was cool. It had an automatic trunk button. And the back seat dropped down.
Ooh.
So you could just go into the trunk and get out of the trunk. We ended up taking it to this drive-in. I think it was like an old 50s drive-in thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And we proceeded to one by one just get out of the back of the car and look around and run.
Just to see
if we could get any kind of it was there were moments where my family was genuinely we had a good time, but that was
Did Dad do it too?
Dad didn't. No, he wouldn't limber enough to.
I'm about to say that was
shimmy through.
Your dad was of larger carriage, so I was like, that I want to see.
This was before my brother too, so but it was the Ford Taurus all the way up until about 2007, which is when he left this mortal coil.
Yeah, and
then subsequently the job.
And then that was the time where Mercury and Ford, they'd have the same car.
Ford Lincoln Mercury.
Yeah, the Mercury Sable, the Ford Taurus were the same car. The Ford Tempo and the Mercury Topaz were the same car. And so forth and so on.
But for a minute, we were crazy about a Mercury.
It is.
I'm going to buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road. Yes, that was a family tradition.
Well, speaking of cruising.
Yes.
We're going to talk UFO Festival, Galacticon. Of course, Elaine Mayfield's going to join us here. Steve Anderson and the UFO car, they are officially in town, and so we'll interview Steve here in just a few.
Caught a glimpse of it outside, and already drawing some local attention. People coming over and chit-chatting.
It's right now. Is it parked over in front of the museum and everything?
It's actually parked right in front of the building.
Oh, okay, right now.
Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah.
So
he's going to roll it over later to the official location.
Yeah, very cool. So, so we'll talk with them here in just a few minutes. Of course, this is day one of festival weekend and everything. The road is now closed. If you're trying to, if you haven't been out and about yet, downtown is closed from 5th Street to
5th to 3rd, and then 2nd is open.
Yes.
But then from 2nd on to, I believe, Alameda is also going to be closed off.
Yes, because
they have to keep 2nd open for commercial traffic.
Yeah, that's a bigger highway that they can't just shut down. But yeah, everything in between on either side in a block or two, like I said, south. So, but yeah, and that'll be that way through Sunday. So through end of Sunday.
And UFOfestival.com if you RoswellUFOfestival.com.
No, just
UFOfestival.com if you want your full information, the complete rundown of events.
And Galacticon.com will also have everything, including now the UFO car. It'll spend most of its time out in front of Galacticon. It will be in the parade on Saturday, and I believe it does. I think it's gonna because thanks to the Kremlin Auto Group and the Roswell Chamber, we're able to bring the UFO car here.
Yes.
So I think he's gonna make some appearances over in those places at some point this weekend too.
Right.
So, but yeah, we'll talk all about that with
he's gonna move the metal as we like to say.
Yes. So we're gonna do that this hour, and then we'll also get you up to date with news and all that good stuff and whatever else.
Yes, indeed.
Something else I was gonna mention, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But oh well. It was something.
I will say that Mike's getting pretty wrapped up in this Mobland show. I've noticed.
Yeah. That.
Have you finished the season that you're on?
No. I'm 4 episodes in. I think
it's one of those. I feel like you can't just flip on and turn off your brain. You kind of have to pay attention and.
Yeah. Well, it's yes and no.
It's espionage more than
it's mob. It's family mob. But instead of Italians, it's Irish. And that's kind of the difference. And the Hannigan clan, that's kind of their. All I can say is, I think, and I haven't seen 80,000 Helen Mirren pieces of work. The ones I've seen of her, she is by far the most evil in this one.
Really?
She's pretty dark.
That's interesting because you know what? The more I thought about it when you said it yesterday, she's always played a very prim, very regal role. It's never she doesn't play down to the groundlings, so to speak. But that sounds like an interesting take.
It's pretty good, man. I've enjoyed it. Tom Hardy's Tom Hardy.
Have you ever seen? This is probably a silly question, but did you ever watch Boondock Saints?
Yes, but it's been a minute, and I don't remember a whole lot.
Yeah, it's been a minute for me too. But I feel like it's kind of that same vibe of kind of the Irish, the way the Irish people. Here's the thing, generally speaking, they come off as very jovial and happy people, and I blame the leprechaun on the Lucky Charms box for that. But generally speaking, they're a mob of drunken, angry folk.
Well,
I could say that because I'm Irish, all right?
Me too. And they're oppressed people.
Yes.
The indentured servitudes, the famines, there's a whole history. That's why there's an IRA and all this. Go look it up. But anyway, Mobland's good. And it's really, it takes place in England. I think they're in England. They're in London. And they're basically an Irish mob family there in London. And they kind of, and the plot twist this first season is mostly because they really started out with one of the grandkids ends up hanging out with one of the grandkids of the rival gang in town.
Ooh, real.
And one of them,
Montague Capulet,
and the one ends up dead, and then the other one's blood, and that's
I guess Hatfield and McCoy.
Yes, it's very much that. And then by the way, there was a murder, and now the cops are onto that. So and Tom Hardy's character, he's like the fixer. He's kind of. He's technically not a Hannigan. He met one of the sons of Pierce Brosnan in the joint together, and that's how they became friends. They looked out for each other, and apparently they shared some not so happy experiences in jail. Imagine that.
It happens. Yeah.
But anyway, that's how he ends up with the family, and he's been like the fixer for 20 years or whatever, and so that's but it's pretty good. It's I highly recommend it if you like mafia type shows.
I don't know why it sprung into my head, but just when you mentioned the bad experiences that happen in jail.
Yeah.
So, and this will be real quick because we have to get to our guest, but yesterday, the judge handed down a largely not guilty verdict for one Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah, that all went down.
He got out of a lot of charges, but the reason I bring it up is because the supporters, the Diddy supporters outside to celebrate, took their shirts off and poured baby oil on each other. I mean, it is one way to celebrate, I guess, but
I mean, look, I get legalities, not legalities, whatever. Great lawyers. I'm sure he had, today's versions of Johnny Cochran and his team and all that. But, I mean, okay. But I've seen the videos. I mean, there's a whole lot of
He was found guilty of enough that he is basically...
he's still in jail.
He's facing down a 4 to 5 year sentence. And, they denied him bail. So
yeah. So
he's not a flight risk. Bull.
Right.
Like he owns an island somewhere he could go to.
Yeah. But, I it's the whole thing reeks of...
No, just in the sentence right there.
Yeah. It's all oogie.
The whole thing just reeks. It's weird.
And people drink it in. They can't wait for get more salacious
just
details.
The idea that his supporters to celebrate, like, I've been excited. I've been with my boys or my homies and been excited. I've never been tear our shirts off and go baby oil crazy excited. Like, I've watched teams that I've rooted for win. I was at the 2001 championship game when the Roswell Coyotes beat Piedra Vista from a massive come from behind to win the championship. I didn't oil up then. Granted, I was a junior in high school. It would have been real weird.
Not in public, anyway.
I saved it for later. There's a time and a place.
That's right.
It's called the trailer park at noon on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's just, I'm pretty loosey-goosey on most things. But it's like, come on. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Just because American doesn't mean America should.
Yes.
So,
my wife here?
I believe so. So celebrate responsibly this weekend, I think is what we're ultimately trying to say.
Very good.
Yes.
All right. Let's get the hour going. It is 8:17. Time for your weather. Your weather, our weather, everybody's weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We could still get a few showers or thunderstorms today. Mix of sunshine and clouds, and we'll be in the mid-80s. Maybe a leftover shower till about midnight tonight. A few clouds, and we're in the upper 60s, and then everything dries out for Independence Day. We're looking pretty good. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures will be warming up a little bit. Mid-90s on the high, and then sunny and hot for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 73 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 19%. Winds are calm at the moment. We are looking at rain chances today at 60%. They're saying mainly for this afternoon, after 3 p.m. today. I've noticed it has been kind of clearing as the morning progresses. But anyway, 3 o'clock is when they're saying after 3 today. Partly cloudy, 84 for a high. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. But they're saying expect less than 1/10 of an inch of rain unless we get like a thunderstorm through the area. Tonight, our chance of rain drops to 30%, mainly before 9 p.m. So what they're saying, our sweet spot for rain is between 3 this afternoon and 9 p.m. this evening. Mostly cloudy, gradually becoming mostly clear overnight. Expect an overnight low of 68 degrees with south winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So I think if the 9 o'clock, because tonight is the drone show at 9 p.m. downtown here, hopefully we'll be just good for that. For your Independence Day tomorrow, expect sunny skies, no talk of rain, but warm, high of 95 with winds out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night, we are looking at clear skies and an overnight low of 69 degrees West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, going to be a hot one. Sunny, high of 100 expected. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tomorrow, Saturday night with an overnight low of 70. There's a 20% chance of showers Sunday afternoon, mostly sunny and 95. 30% Sunday night, partly cloudy and 69. And then a 20% next Monday when you head back to work, sunny and 93 otherwise there. All right, it is 20 minutes after 8. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break. We'll bring in Elaine Mayfield here to talk some Galacticon, and then we'll bring in Steve and stuff right there after here. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
This just in, Roswell Hyundai is giving you an explosive chance to win. Yup, Roswell Hyundai is giving away a massive $300 fireworks package from Amy's Fireworks this Thursday at noon sharp. Stop by Roswell Hyundai and register now. While you're there, check out the slashed prices across the lot with many vehicles just $222 a month, plus 0% for up to 60 months on 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe. No payments for 90 days and up to $2,000 for your trade. Blowout savings and explosive prizes are waiting for you at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Hey CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, it's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571.
Amy's Fireworks is ready to help you have the brightest and most explosive Independence Day celebration ever. A wide selection of reloadable mortars, including the huge 5-inch canister shells. Sparklers, Roman candles, fountains, firecrackers, rockets, parachutes. Amy's Fireworks family packs start from just $8. Shop in air-conditioned comfort at Amy's Fireworks. 1501 East 2nd Street, Roswell. Also in Artesia and Carlsbad.
Se habla español.
Serving you since 1980, Amy's Fireworks.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
If you suffer from pogonophobia, you would not want to attend a party with the following people: Kenny Rogers, Santa Claus, Willie Nelson, the cast of Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, we're not sliding papers around over here, Elaine Mayfield, back with us from Galacticon. Good morning, Elaine.
It's our last visit.
This is the last official visit for this year's Galacticon.
It starts today.
It's we're hours away. I know, like, if you look at kind of the schedule, like if you get the Vision magazine, they kind of have a full schedule.
Supplement, yeah.
It's in the Wednesday edition of the Daily Record. But like as far as this second, as far as UFO Festival and Galacticon and everything, really, they've opened up registration for the 5K over at the Recreation Aquatic Center. So if you want to sign up for the Alien 5K and all that, you can go do that starting 8 o'clock this morning. So you can go do that. 10 o'clock, the Miniatures and Curiosities Museum is going to open up.
I thought they were doing that this morning.
And so you can go check that out at 10. And then according to the schedule, about 1 o'clock this afternoon, they'll start playing some live music on the main stage here. 3 o'clock's when the vendors and will start opening up here. And then they'll be open till 10 o'clock tonight. And then, of course, the drone show will kick off at 9 p.m. this evening, all obviously weather permitting here. But that's the plan.
And yes, it did say 8:30 before, but it is 9 o'clock.
It is 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, in the vision, it says 9 p.m.
Yeah,
they got it right there.
Boy.
They got in there.
They actually worked very hard to get that out early.
Yes.
It usually comes out on Friday.
Yes.
But they worked real hard, got everything done. Christina Stock worked overtime.
Well,
and Eric Loomis.
I highly recommend you pick one up. It's a great supplement to the festival.
Absolutely.
It's got a lot of cool stories about some of the vendors and artists and bands and everything, including the Galacticon. Some of the people that'll be a part of this year's Galacticon too. So it's all in there.
It covers everything.
Yeah.
And we have, like I said, about 5 major groups, 6 maybe, that work with this. So it's all a team effort. It's
Absolutely.
all community-wide team effort.
Absolutely. And of course, big thank you to the Daily Record. They're the ones sponsoring tonight's drone show. That's one of their contributions to this year's UFO Festival. So.
Yeah, everything had to switch when we lost the convention center.
Yeah, yeah.
And the city worked with us to switch those funds to something that would be very appropriate.
And I know, like in years past, they've kind of partnered with you, but also do their own thing with their incident and all that. So maybe when the convention center is back to being available again, they can start doing that kind of thing again. But space was very limited this year.
Very. Yeah, our vendor hall is probably half the size.
Yeah.
But boy, it's packed in. We got everything loaded in yesterday.
But it's packed to floor to ceiling, and you're definitely gonna enjoy what's in there. Now it's only $5 to get into the Galacticon.
That pays rent.
And that pays rent. If you so choose, and it's not a bad way to go ahead and buy a weekend pass for, is it $25?
Yes.
And that'll get you in from open to close. You can go on in there and just in and out. So if you need to cool it, so if you're out, I'm going to do this thing, and you're like, oh, it's hot. Let's go get back to Galacticon for a minute. Go check out some booths and vendors. Okay, it's warmed up. Let's go get something to eat. Oh, it's getting hot again. Let's go back in. Galacticon could be your respite
we are
for that.
air conditioned.
But please, while you're in there cooling off, come check out some of the booths. Check out some of the artists. The activities, if you're into gaming, they're going to have the table games, the D&D and Magic the Gathering, those type of games
we got
going
a full
on.
room of D&D.
Yeah. Also, don't forget that they have, of course, the panels. Like if you want to do cosplay,
there's 3 workshops, I believe. 2 or 3 workshops. Yeah.
And so you can learn some of that. Don't forget there is the cosplay costume contest, which is separate from the alien costume contest and pet costume contest.
It's additional.
Yeah, it's additional. It's a third one, which just to explain the difference is the cosplay, and we've talked about this in the past, but basically they create a character in the world, and they create a backstory and everything else.
Right.
And so cosplay is they're basically creating their own character, and you get to show it off. And so it's not just the costume.
And some of those will stay in that character for the whole weekend. Never come out.
Yeah. And matter of fact, and God bless these people, how they were able to do this, because I feel like, man, I missed the wrong gig, but they really make a pretty good living going, being their character, and they go to Comic-Cons, various places around the country, and they build a fan base, and next, it's a big deal.
Yeah, we birthed one last year, a young woman that was real nervous about coming out and doing their cosplay, but really wanted to, and she won everything, and even the towel day, and that's where we met her. And she's just, I believe, graduated high school here. So, wow. And now she's just really comfortable with it.
Speaking of Towel Day, I know when we were promoting the last Towel Day, we had one of the cosplay. I don't know not actresses, but cosplayers.
Participants,
Yeah, and she, this was her job. Like she had, and now she has multiple characers. She's not just a one-trick pony. She's got a half dozen or so more different characters and does that. But that's so if you want to learn more about that and say, how do I get on that gig? Make sure you hang out in Galacticon this weekend. There's going to be some people that can show you how to do it. But don't forget, and don't forget also that because of how the Galacticon really started, it really kind of had steampunk roots, and it still has that. So it always has that flair. So if you're a steampunk person, there's always going to be a little bit of something for steampunk there, including some workshops. Of course, tonight is the steampunk, karaoke at Peppers. So what time does that start?
At 6 to 9.
6 to 9. So come out there, hang out, and then about time you're done, it'll be time for the drone show. So.
Right, and that's all kinds of songs too.
Yeah.
It's not only sci-fi songs, but we do we sprinkle them in.
Yeah,
so Peter Powell's doing that this year.
Costumes are optional. You're not obligated to, but if you feel the need, you will not be alone. It is encouraged, and just pull back the curtain. Make sure you napkin up if you don't want to get sauces or anything on your because I know it's quite expensive, but next thing you know, you got some green chili sauce on your.
That's right. Exactly. It doesn't cost anything to come.
Yeah.
You eat off the menu and the bar at your choice.
Yeah, get what you want to dinner.
We always go and meet and greet people we haven't seen in a year.
Nice. Yeah, that's kind of it's a little family reunion kind of.
We've worked so hard to get to this point. It's kind of nice to have that one evening of relaxation before the event.
But getting back to kind of what's saying, if you're into maybe wanting to learn the stuff and new to it, come out tonight and hang out and in a social thing and just talk. And I guarantee cosplayers, I'm gonna take a stab that they're like car people, like they love to talk about the costume.
Absolutely.
Like the car guys love to talk about the car. You know what I mean?
I'll agree to that. Yeah.
And so that's a pretty good place.
And it's something you can do when you're 14 or 44.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's something you can start with. And well, no, that's not true neither. I was going to say it's a lot cheaper than cars, but I was like, nah, maybe not.
For some, it is not. That's right.
But definitely make sure you make Galacticon part of your UFO Festival weekend here too. Of course, one of the highlights we've been talking about, in this, it actually started organically last year with Steve and his wife.
Just his friend.
Oh, and his friend. Okay, and they did they created this UFO car, and they last year they said we're going to bring it to UFO Festival. And they fired up the car and brought it from Indiana to here, and along the way it got stopped by almost probably every law enforcement agency
in every state,
in every jurisdiction they crossed, and made it here. And so this year it's back.
Right.
It did not get pulled over as much this time. The cops weren't.
Do you think people are getting used to this?
Maybe they just said, "Oh, it's that guy." Or that's okay. He's legal. I'm sure the first time they're like, "Let's." Is this thing even supposed to be on the road? Now it's like, oh, it's the UFO car, and they just get pictures and everything else. But the UFO car is back here,
yes,
and we'll
thanks
be here.
to sponsors, the city lodgers tax and the Roswell Chamber of Commerce and the Crumlin Auto Group. We all work together to get them back this year.
Yeah, so it is back for this year, and we'll bring them here in just a second. But kind of give a little backstory of these guys before we bring them in here.
Well,
other than what we talked,
they contacted first the Main Street, and they were full up on entertainers and display. And she passed it to me, and I was fascinated by it. And so I went to Andrea Moore at the Chamber of Commerce, and she was too. And she's always been a huge supporter of Galacticon. If you remember, what was his name, Mr. Pasta, Creepy Pasta. She helped sponsor that years ago, So we've worked together several times. But anyway, she said, "Yeah, sure." So we got him down here.
Okay.
And everybody loved it. We had so much fun with the internet covering them down here because they get stopped by police everywhere.
Sure.
And tongue in cheek the whole time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they can relay some of those experiences to you. So we got them back this year, and we're excited about it. And like I said, we're not at the convention center.
That's right.
We're downtown, across the street from the UFO Museum.
Yeah.
So he'll be parked out front.
Yes, you'll see the car right in front of the Lazy Boy studio.
That's right. We love Lazy Boy.
But it'll be there most of the weekend. I know it will be in the parade on Saturday.
Yes.
And I think it might go make a few other appearances around town.
And of course, after we close at 6,
they
just buzz around
and
do other thing. Yeah.
But you may see them hanging out at
and
one
you
of
might
the
ask them.
Kremlin dealerships or something like that at some point. But do we want to bring them in, or do you want
to?
Sure. All right. So we got Steve and
Maryland.
They are the creators of the UFO car here. Come on in, folks. I know we kind of caught them off guard. There we go.
That's the way life is.
You got something. No, I'm just kidding. You got some right here.
I'm an alien.
Hi, there's Marilyn. There's Steve. Come on in. Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Good. Very good.
Good. So, what time did you get in last night, or when did you roll into Roswell here?
Actually, it was
before dark, so it was.
A couple of days ago.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been in for a day or two.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, all the stops last year put him in about midnight last year.
Yeah.
After midnight.
You got. I'm curious. So before we talk about the car, when we're getting those stops by the police, initially were they most like, Was it more the curiosity, or was it more like, is this thing even allowed to be on the road? I need to look under the hood, and I need to make sure this thing's roadworthy, kind of thing.
Well, the whole thing started when I placed the sticker of the license plate on another car, and then the sticker that was on mine was from a different car. So, being a police officer myself, they saw me coming down the road, and they had to find a reason to pull me over.
Gotcha.
And they had a legitimate reason. And of course, when they got there and they ran the plate and everything, they saw I was totally legal.
Sure.
And then they wanted to get pictures, and we just had a grand time. And it went viral, and it went nuts.
Yeah.
We had like 9 million views in one day.
That's so cool. It's so neat when because and that's the cool part of the internet. Sometimes when you put a picture or have a thing up, and you're just thinking your buddies will see it or something, and next thing you know, wait a minute, there's like 10,000 views. Oh my! Wait, there's like 50. This thing's been shared 782 times, and you're like, and it just blows up all of a sudden. You're like, wow, this kind of escalated quickly, didn't it?
yeah. And I can tell you, all the way from Indiana, even though we did not get stopped.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many pictures was taken.
I'm about to say, every time you probably stopped to eat or fuel up.
No. As we were driving.
Even driving by.
Oh, yeah. They were just taking pictures.
Yeah, that's so cool.
All the way here. And
but could you even, like, when you're ready to eat, could you get a meal in without having to visit 20 people and everybody else talking?
Every time we stopped at a gas station or something, I mean, it was probably 45 minutes.
Wow.
Because people wanted to get pictures and this and that and the other, and that's fine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys have turned into the John Madden cruiser. Remember back in the days when John Madden called football games, but he was scared to fly, so they gave him his big coach bus.
Right.
And but he got to like anytime he pull into a truck stop or whatever, he gets mobbed and everything.
Yeah.
You're the new John Madden cruiser.
Well, we like
it's better than the Oscar Mayer Wiener.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's cool too, though.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. Who'd win in a race? But no,
I would.
I got more alien power. I was gonna say horsepower, but no, we got alien power.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, it was so funny because last year the owner of Roswell Drag Strip had me come out to the drag strip
and do a run.
Nice. And I probably did. He said I did a braking speed of probably 40 miles an hour.
That's a head turning 40.
And then what they did was they took their special effects and they made it like I went lightning speed.
Warp speed down there.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool.
The owner, he said, well, I can't give you any money, but I got something that's worth more than money. I said, oh, yeah, what's that? He said, how about a T-shirt? Yeah!
Yeah, they get the T-shirt. Get that mic up a little closer to you. That way they can hear you here. Yeah, they get it, or you can pull it back to you. But
okay.
So I got to ask, how did this start? Like, what gave you the inspiration to say, you know what? I'm going to turn a car into a alien saucer.
Well, it's funny you say that because all the time I seen a flying saucer when I was 8 years old in Indianapolis.
I gotcha.
And I saw this silver in the sky. I'm 8 years old, and it jotted right, jotted left, like it was coming down and observing me. And then, boom.
It was moving not like an airplane or a helicopter.
No, not
way.
at all.
Yeah.
And because it stayed in one spot, and then it moved quick.
Gotcha.
And right, and then left, and then gone. And so I ran in like any 8-year-old would do and say, Mom, Dad, I just saw a flying saucer. And they said, what'd you do? Bump your head, boy. Get back out in the yard.
Right. Everyone believes you.
Yeah. So then just all through my life, I thought, man, it would be so cool to drive a flying saucer. And it was in my mind. And then my buddy, Ed Roth, I don't know if you know Ed Roth, he's passed now.
Okay.
But he invented the rat fink and a lot of wild cars and crazy cars and cars that we used to build.
So
anyway.
Just a guy that's just great at customizing.
Yeah, and he would wake me up in the middle of the night, and he was passed away. And he'd say, Steve, you need to build a flying saucer. And
this is like a Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah. So being an automotive mechanic, and I had a shop for over 22 years, and I had the mechanical knowledge and technology to build, and I thought, I'm going to do this. So I had a 91 Geo Metro.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna cut this thing up.
All right.
And it was.
What was the Geo Metro? I mean, I don't think the world was
Chevy Geo Metro.
The world wasn't like if you did that to a nice expensive car, people are like, oh, travesty. But Geo Metro, like, oh, you're improving that bad boy.
Exactly. And it had a 3-cylinder, an automatic drivetrain, and I just took everything off of it, the doors, the body panels, everything, and I said, okay, what am I going to do? I'm a welder. 1-inch by 1-inch tubing. I made the skeleton of it, and then I sheeted it with the aluminum.
Okay.
And fastened it to it. And the hardest thing was making the bubble, because I had to use 2-inch steel bands and up and around, and then I had to fix plexiglass and drill holes all in the plexiglass and pie cut it.
Got it.
And I probably broke a couple of them, but
you always break a few eggs, right? When
and I tell you, as soon as I built it, it was nuts. I mean, I drove it on the street for the first time, and I got mauled. I mean, and
it's a head turner, but that's not every day.
Changed.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, how does it drive? Like, because it's obviously with a much a narrow wheelbase with the wider side there. Is it awkward to navigate, or does it drive pretty?
No, it drives just like a 91 Geo Metro. I mean,
Just still a little bit awkward, because those things, weren't they known for tipping? If I remember right, those Metros, or was that the Samurai? Or there was a couple of vehicles of that era that were all kind of similar.
I don't think it tipped any, because of the way it is.
Gotcha.
But and we had to make sure that it was within 104 inches, because that's the widest you can go on there. So I made mine 98.
Gotcha. So is the engine, everything the same Geo engine, the Metro engine?
Yeah.
Is this heavier than because I imagine that aluminum stuff, it's probably a little bit more weightier than the original car. Huh?
Not really, because when you take the doors off and the roof off and all the metal off, and then you affix it with 1-inch by 1-inch tubing and the welds and it's
comes
less
out in the
weight.
wash. Okay, so it's a little lighter then.
Yeah.
Oh, you catch air now.
It does do that. But
does it have what kind of amenities? Like, do you have air conditioning in there?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I would say, you guys hauling from Indiana, I hope it's got some creature comfort. So that's a long trip.
Yeah, it has heat. It has air.
Okay.
It has people ask, well, where do you put the luggage? Well, the seat folds down.
Okay.
And in the back of it, that's where we put all
secret
our
compartment.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's got everything that you would want in a regular car.
Sure.
Turn signals, headlights, taillights.
It's got to be street legal. It has to have all that stuff.
And then, it's got a radio and a stereo and CD and,
nice.
The
latest in...
you could hear it, because
I'm about to say, it's probably not the quietest.
No, it's not really the quietest. It could be, but I like it. Being
the whole trip, Steve and Mara like, how are you doing? What?
Yeah.
Are you hungry? What?
Yeah.
You need to go to the bathroom? I'd love to have some ice cream.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it was a fun trip. It always has been. Last year when we drove here, it's a funny story, because when I got back home and I shut it off, and next day I got up and I said, well, I'll just start it and bring it back in the garage.
Yeah.
It just went rah, 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 and it wouldn't start. And I'm like, what in the world? And so, me being a mechanic, there's 3 things that make a car start. It's fuel, fire, and compression.
Right, without missing one.
Yeah. So, fuel I had, fire I had no compression on number 2 cylinder. So I put a brand new motor in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's had some updates since the original.
Oh, yeah. And some lights. We put a lot of lights on it.
Nice. So I'm guessing spaces of the essence in that thing. Could you go a little bigger with the motor, or did you have to keep it the same size for space and everything?
I probably could, but at almost 50 miles a gallon. Yeah, 3-cylinder. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, yeah. That way, you can actually afford the gas in it to get it here and all that other.
Yeah,
stuff.
well, and people ask all the time, how fast will it go? And my answer is warp speed.
There you go.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I didn't get stopped, because they didn't see me.
That's right.
I was just moving so quick.
You went the John Cena route. Now you see me.
You
see me.
So it's been nothing but an adventure,
Nice.
and I'd like to thank the people of Roswell and Elaine and everybody that brought us here.
Well, you definitely are one of our highlights of the festival. We love. Yeah, well, we're so glad that you kind of, chose to share it with us and be a part of it.
Love it. Last year, I got to meet the chief of police, and he was a great guy, and he was so great, he even gave me a coin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Coined you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and just everybody we met in Roswell just been like a extended family.
That's cool. So for this weekend, I know most of the time you can see the car. It's going to be at Galacticon, out in front of Galacticon this weekend. You will be in the light parade on Saturday as well.
Yes.
Do you have any other commitments or any places that you're going to be hanging out, or just kind of wherever the wind blows you in between?
Yeah, we want to, I think, Andrea.
Over the chamber?
We work with the chamber and Kremlin.
Okay.
And last year he went to Richland.
Okay.
But, they were highly damaged in the floods.
Yeah.
And they're working out of the back and the side. And so they postponed that one this year.
Okay.
Which I totally understand.
Yeah.
It's a little hard getting in and out now.
Yeah, we are dealing with a little flooding since last time you guys visited.
We followed that.
So we may be a dealer thing. Otherwise, he's buzzing around town.
Yeah, I'm buzzing
and he's
around
always
town.
happy to stop and talk with anybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've got to ask, like you said, Roswell's kind of a second home now. Have you embraced the thing that we call green chili? Are you a fan?
I have not.
Not a fan.
I don't know.
Have you not had our green chili
No.
while you've been in town? That's a New Mexico thing.
That's right.
I would. I'd like
Red or green is our official state question. Do you like red or green chili? But like you can go to McDonald's or Sonic here and get a green chili cheeseburger. You cannot get those in other places. So.
Wow.
And we're going to Peppers tonight. So
And
they'll have
Peppers
to
is
try.
Peppers. Yeah, while you're at Peppers tonight, ask for some green chili base. I'm telling you, this is New Mexico's gift to the world is our chili.
Culinary.
Yeah, that's right. That's our gift to the world is our chili.
And I do.
Do you like spicy?
Not.
I don't.
Because green can go either way. Like greens can be now ask first, but generally green is the more mild. But ask first.
I like mild.
Because
He does.
I've had the reverse every once in a while. I said, no, the green's going to light you up. Go with the red.
Yeah.
And it was fun last year, too, because after Roswell, we went to Area 51 and tried to break our people out.
Any luck there?
They didn't really care too much
No.
about it. When I drove up there to the gate, and then, of course, I got out, and then I read that they can use deadly force.
Yeah, they did, and I don't know how far you got to go before they test that theory, and I'm not ready to do that experiment.
When I got out there, and I'm out, and I got the glasses on, and I'm I'm an alien, and I go, let my people go. And,
I'm sure they're all going, wow, we got another one. Hold on.
Well, and they see the flying saucer, and they go, sir, you need to get back in your vehicle. And then lights come on, and I go, but I want in. And they go, sir, this is your second warning. I said, oh, yeah, a little alien in. They gave us an escort.
All the whole crew.
They were very accommodating.
Yeah. I said, well, who's going to bail me out?
They were so nice. They took me everywhere. They had an escort. They gave me a nice room to sit in.
Interrogated me for hours.
That's right. Probings?
No probings.
I didn't even ask for the probings. They just probe everybody.
But it was a great experience, and this I know is going to be a great experience with Elaine and
oh yeah,
everything.
it's a lot of fun. So please come see it. And I know you guys, like you said, you love when people come and visit. And you can come and check it out and do all that. And I believe, if you want to sit in and stuff, we can make arrangements, do all that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So come get up close and personal with the car all weekend here. Like I said, most of the time you're going to see it sitting right when Galacticon's open. You'll see it right in front of Galacticon here, which is actually right across from the UFO museum too. So it's all right there. So you can't miss it.
And there's only 3 things that you have to do that if you want a ride in the UFO, of course, there's a fee for that.
Sure.
But there's 3 things that you have to do.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
1, you have to wear the alien glasses.
Well, of course.
Okay, 2.
It's like goggles. I mean, come on. It's a uniform.
You have to have the ray gun to protect us. Okay.
You're riding shotgun, so you need to be on the howitzer.
Right. And 3rd and most important, you have to act like you're 8 years old.
You know what? I'm told I need to stop acting like I'm 8 years old. By the way, those are some of the coolest glasses I've ever seen. I've seen Steve. I've seen a few of those, but that's unique. I've never seen Marilyn. Those are.
He got them.
Those are beautiful. I love those. I'm like, man, where do you hook? You buy me a pair of those.
Right.
And they make green lights look turquoise, so like the stoplights and the turn arrows, the turquoise.
Oh.
Yeah, she was asking me. She goes, "When did they start changing the lights?" And I'm like, "When you put the glasses
Take
on."
your glasses off. Much better.
Yeah.
Why do I want my food this weird hue? Take the glasses off.
Exactly.
It's very cool.
This ham is good, but it's a weird color.
It's just been very eventful.
Very
and
cool.
we will be at the hotel.
Days Inn.
The Days Inn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where you'll see the car parked at night and everything.
Yeah,
And,
it's in view there right in front.
so for pictures and stuff. But
Right.
And they've been awfully accommodating too.
That's
Days
great.
Inn.
Yeah.
Oh,
good
they're
deal.
great. No, they're great.
The Days Inn has been
Always
just
stay
been
there.
excellent.
Well, good. I'm glad everything's been fun and welcoming for you guys, and I hope you get.
It kind of didn't start that way. He's building more cars.
Well, that's true. I know we
and
were
it
talking
kind
about.
of hit a snag. So
Yeah.
You did. I know we were talking. Lane was telling me that you got a Jetsons car.
Yeah, I was
the
in
Bubble Mobile.
Yeah, I was in the process of building it, and I was close. And the guy that was delivering the vehicle over to Florida lost the bubble.
And without the bubble, it's not the bubble car, is it?
And the bubble flew off, and I go, "Where?" And he goes, "I don't know, somewhere in Georgia or somewhere."
So if you see a broken bubble on the side of the road in Missouri somewhere,
yeah,
supposed to be a Jetsons car.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there's a small reward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it will be with
hopefully
Elaine.
for next
It
year.
will definitely be here
I
for
really
next
wanted to
year.
come
And then
and see
another
this
one
time.
coming too.
That would be.
I really wanted to.
I gotta ask a question
Uh-huh.
though, because there's something iconic about that car. That I mean, not only the bubble, but that boop, that noise. Is there any way to replicate that?
That's
on that
what I'm going to do. And it's
Thank
going to have bubbles coming out of the
Nice.
back.
So it's a bubble car with
Yeah,
bubbles. Nice.
it's going to have bubbles going.
So that's an extra added feature.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you haven't figured out how to fold it up into a suitcase yet.
I'm working on it. And I told Elaine, too, that we're also building the Kryptonian.
Oh.
The Kryptonian is,
Superman. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's an alien,
He certainly is.
And,
And just so happens they just put out another Superman movie. It's about to come out.
Yeah,
here.
July
We'll be
11th.
going.
Yeah.
It looks different. Like it looks the way, because it looks like it's a lot of CGI in this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look like a Christopher
probably have
Reeves
two.
or
Yeah,
one
I
of those
know.
kind of movies.
I know. I really loved Christopher Reeves.
Oh, he was
the best.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we're building a Kryptonian, which looks like a older type. Well, just like coming from the planet Krypton.
Gotcha.
And it'll be drivable.
Nice.
Which I also have a rocket ship that I'm building that's like Flash Gordon.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got a soft spot for the Flash Gordon movie of the 70s. And
Yeah.
as most people really poo-poo that movie.
Uh-huh.
I loved that movie as a kid.
I always liked Flash Gordon.
And
Flash.
some people are going to get mad right now. Some people are going to get very mad. One of my favorite Queen songs is the Flash Gordon song.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got so many hits, but I'm like, I want to hear Flash Gordon.
Right.
I'm like, that Bohemian Rhapsody's fine. I want to hear Flash Gordon.
Right, exactly. No, I love it, and it's almost done.
Yeah.
So I'm always busy. I was a 24-year Vietnam vet, and then I...
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. And then I also had 8 martial arts studios, and, and done a lot of stuff, and been in some films. I made a movie called Gila.
Oh, okay.
And I was executive producer in that film.
So you got a lot of... You said you did law enforcement, military, welding, mechanics.
Yep. I did a whole lot of things.
Very creative.
And,
MacGyver. That's
He's a black belt. Black belt in karate.
MacGyver Lee.
Yeah.
That's your new name.
and I also have something that you would like, because I see it on your shelf. I have a General Lee.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was a big Dukes fan. Matter of fact, that one I got at Cooter's Garage in Sperryville, Virginia. Cooter autographed it.
Yeah.
And then Bo Duke, John Schneider, was in town half dozen years ago or so, and I got him to autograph that. So that one's got two Dukes alum autographs on that particular General.
My car under the hood has got all the staff, including Daisy Duke.
Ooh, very cool.
So I got John Snyder and Bo, and
We just lost Cletus.
Yeah.
Cletus died like last week or earlier this week. Yeah, I just saw online that we lost Cletus.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, John is a really great guy. Really like him.
Yeah, he was nice. I met him, Ben Jones. I got to meet Roscoe before he died, too.
Yeah.
He was there at the event, and matter of fact, him and Ben sang Just the Good Old Boys. They had a little stage up there.
Good.
And Roscoe was in complete Hazard County Sheriff's uniform. He was fully regaled up in the uniform and everything.
Good,
So,
good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So.
Lot of fun.
That's one of my childhood loves too. Is the Duke, so.
I have so many other cars. I have a Munster coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have the Munsters. I have.
I hate to say it, man. You need to just truck all these vehicles and just bring them down, and you can have your own car show right over here.
Definitely, he could.
Yeah.
Because every one of those, I'm like, I'd like to see that. Yep. And you just keep Munster car? Absolutely.
The
Love
main
the
thing
Munster
is
car.
you would pay to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has a Bugzilla that's awesome.
Yeah, I have a Bugzilla that's probably, the tires are probably about almost 5 foot tall.
Wow. How about Knight Rider? You don't have a Knight Industries 2000, do you?
Not yet. Not yet.
Kit car?
Yeah, that's
Kit car, yeah.
I'm working on that.
Or the A-Team van? Is that?
I have a little smart car that looks like the A-Team.
There we go.
Yeah. And
load up the back with AK-47s and never hit anybody with them.
But I also got 6 Batmobiles.
Oh, wow. Are they like the very genres, like the Adam West one versus the Christian Bale one?
2 of the Adam West.
Okay.
And then I have 3 of the Michael Keaton.
Ooh, the two good ones.
The one where the machine guns come out.
Yeah.
And then I got a 1940 Batmobile from the comic book.
Oh, wow.
With a bat face on it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Man. Now, are all these your custom builds, or are they just acquired over the years on some of these?
No, I custom build them.
All of them are custom built.
Yeah,
I don't know if you, you're like the, you remember Count's Cars? The guy you're like the TV Count, the TV memorabilia Count custom cars.
Yeah, I know him. We went to his shop. And they went
he's got a beautiful shop. By the way.
we went and brought the flying saucer, and they just all went crazy over it. And they,
Too bad they're not still doing shows. You could have ended up on that show.
I know. Well, I was trying to get on Pawn
Stars.
Yeah, I was trying to get on there and see if I could get them to give me $1 million for the flying saucer car, which I wouldn't sell, but
right. But you'll do the negotiation on TV.
I will.
Get a little sign.
Yeah.
Very cool. We're about to get kicked off here at the top of the hour, but please come out to Galacticon. Like I said, it's just $5 to get into Galacticon each day, or you can get the $25 pass. It'll get you in from now till Sunday. And
but of course, the display of his car is free to the public.
Yeah, that's going to be right out front. You can come on and check it out, get your pictures, and actually talk with Steve and Marilyn here and chit chat. And shouts. Put it this way, I think we only scratched the iceberg of Steve's stories here on the radio. So it's going to be we're at the tip of that iceberg right now. So.
Well, y'all need to come out and get a picture taken with it to put on your shelf.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So come out and then. So what? Are they going to be out there this afternoon? I guess with the car.
They have today off.
Okay, so you're going to be off in sightseeing and all.
We're going to be shopping,
and then Friday morning we'll be right out there ready.
They
to
will
roll.
be at Peppers tonight.
Yeah, there you go. So you can see the car at Peppers and come have a meal and a beverage or two and chit chat.
Some green chili.
There you go. And there you go. We'll get you indoctrinated green chili.
Be my chance to.
Very cool. It's once you're in though. Like I'm from Maryland originally. I'm not from here, and I've been here about 30 years now. And I'm more New Mexican than Maryland now.
My daughter lives in Tulsa and has for years, and I don't go there without packing green chili and tamales.
Yeah. If you want to try the green chili, what I would suggest, with it being your first time, ask it to be put on the side in a container, and then you could just put it on your food to taste, and then go from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, thank you guys, appreciate it. We'll see you around and about this weekend.
Yeah, we hope that this goes across so that we'll get invited on the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
There we go. I don't know, my footprint's not that big.
That's what I told him with me.
Well, maybe we'll make it big for you.
You know what? I'll ride coattails. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
All right.
You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. News in progress.
Shooting in northwest Washington, D.C. has killed a 21-year-old congressional intern who was working for Congressman Ron Estes.
Eric Tarpinian Jaquin was shot and killed in northwest D.C. Monday night. Metropolitan Police and the Kansas Republican confirmed. The intern would have been a senior at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst this fall. The 21-year-old was a Granby, Massachusetts resident who joined Estes' staff earlier in June. Metropolitan Police said in a statement Wednesday that detectives believe he was not the intended target of the shooting. Police responded to the sound of gunshots on the 1200 block of 7th Street Northwest just before 10:30 p.m. Monday night. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
4 people killed in a mass shooting last night outside a Chicago nightclub. A surprisingly robust employment report, America's employers adding 147,000 jobs in June. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 346 points, NASDAQ ahead 193. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Remains just that, with the capital city ground zero for the unrelenting and deadly bloodshed.
The Haitian government and security forces have struggled to even remotely wrestle back control of the capital Port-au-Prince from the powerful drug gangs who have the city in their grip. Even the UN-backed deployment of hundreds of Kenyan police officers has failed to make any significant progress in improving the security situation. Now, one of the top UN officials for the Americas has set out the extent of the problem in stark language to the Security Council. Miroslav Jenka, the Assistant Secretary for the Americas, warned that Haiti faces the real possibility of the total collapse of the state presence in the capital unless the international community acted decisively.
The BBC's Will Grant. Rescuers in Indonesia continue the search, looking for 29 people missing after a ferry sank. 5 people died near the resort island of Bali. News and analysis, townhall.com. It's another round of pink slips at Microsoft.
Microsoft says that its latest layoffs could cut close to 4% of that workforce, or about 9,000 people. In May, Microsoft began laying off about 6,000 workers, or nearly 3% of its global workforce, as the company spent heavily on artificial intelligence. Microsoft says that the new rounds of cuts will affect multiple teams around the world, including its sales division and its Xbox video game business. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
The man accused of killing former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband and wounding a state senator and his wife is due back in court after a week's delay. Prosecutors allege that 57-year-old Vance Boder carried out the June 14th attacks while he was disguised as a police officer. More details at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy day one of the UFO Festival.
Yes.
Buenos
Welcome
Thursday.
to it.
You go down and get to see the car and all that?
Yeah, got to check it out. It's surprising they can both fit in there.
Oh, yeah, it's not what I'd call roomy.
No, it is a converted Geo Metro.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we had some fun talking about that.
Fun fact, the not the Metro, but the Tracker was always the vehicle I fawned after when I was in high school.
Wow.
And then I was later, that's a chick car, right? I'm like, yeah, but I didn't know that at the time. I thought it was kind of cool, little smallish SUV.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that and and I always get them mixed up with the Suzuki Samurai.
As one should. They were very similar.
And they came out right around the same time. And I think they're also 3-cylinder engines,
right?
If I remember right. And I know the Samurai had the tipping.
Yeah, well, and they both did. They both were.
The Tracker did too.
Yeah, just because it's a tight turn radius is what it was. You know what? The other one that had that.
The Metro's not a whole lot different than your car now.
That's true. That is very true. Although mine does better on hills because I got a 4-cylinder.
Yeah, right. He's got that big block.
That's
4-cylinder.
Right. Big block 4. The other vehicle that was like that was the Ford Bronco, specifically the Bronco 2.
The Bronco 2, yeah.
The Bronco 2 had a real tight turn radius, and it
had a little 4-cylinder engine in it.
And that was the vehicle I almost killed my father in.
Oh.
Yes, when he was trying to teach me how to drive stick in high school. It didn't go well. He told me, he said, just take a U-turn up here and we'll get started. And I did. And you know that scene in Dirty Work when they're both like, he looks over and the guy's like the devil face. He's like, that was my father. I'm in the middle of this turn and it's a tight turn because I didn't break into the turn.
All right.
And I look over at him. He's like,
he Dukes of Hazzard it around.
He had that face. I finally get the turn around. He just looks at me and I brake. And he looks at me. He says, "Get," or he takes it out of gear. Get out.
That's the driving lesson for today.
That was my driving lesson. Full stop. It was okay. Sean doesn't drive stick, I guess.
So he never did finish.
Oh
to teach
no!
What would you expect? No one's going to know how to do a grate right out the gate.
Right, you got to have practice.
That's why they put you in a parking lot where there's nothing within a mile of you.
My dad wasn't the best at at least I know he had more patience when it came to like his clients or when he was in trainings, but when it came to me, it was pretty much, don't you get it right away.
Yeah.
I remember when I was just learning to drive, they let me drive home from I think like the donut shop or something in an automatic. And I made...
That's so he could eat the donuts while you're driving.
I made the fatal mistake of coming to a full stop before turning, like in an intersection. And it was literally just the road.
Like the rolling stop?
Like instead of coming to the intersection and just turning, I came to a stop and then turned.
Oh.
And he's like, what are you doing? You're holding up traffic. There's nobody behind me. I'm on Poe. He's like, what are you doing? You can't come to a full stop. When you come to an intersection, you need to go. So, yeah, my dad...
He was intense when it came to that. Yeah.
He turned certain shades when dealing with me growing up.
Huh.
Yeah. You've heard 50 Shades of Grey. My dad was 50 Shades of Red.
Note to self, I can't spill anything on my shirt before 10:30 this morning.
Oh, marinara.
Why is that?
Because I got to go get a new driver's license photo.
Oh,
and the last thing I want to do is have like a mustard stain
Right.
sitting on my shirt. Well,
This is a last-minute guy.
Yeah.
It expires today.
I forgot. I didn't realize it. I thought I had more time, and then I looked and I was like, oh, it's June 3rd or July 3rd.
What I'm saying is, though, you lucked out. You happened to just check last night
That's
and
right.
see it, and you're like, oh.
My wife got me a new wallet, and I was cleaning it out. That's why I found out. I was like, oh, that's tomorrow.
The timing, man.
Yeah,
It couldn't have been any more
So,
perfect.
yeah, I got an appointment right after the show today to go get my license.
I can appreciate the up to the last minute
Yeah.
of it all, but you do realize and remember how long I was driving on the registration.
I'm about to say,
on.
yeah, you were.
I only.
I think
in
a previous president was when you had your.
You're not wrong. In March of this year, I finally got my registration updated. But before that, my tag said October 2021.
Now, Sean, they even give you
I
notice in the mail.
Oh, yeah, I don't check my mail every day. Who's writing me letters?
Whose fault is that?
Mine.
Okay.
I'm fully aware of whose fault this is.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, backing off of that at
Whereas
all.
license, I don't know why they don't send you a notification your license
I never
about
got one.
to expire.
Yeah, I never
My
got one.
well, I kept my license up to date and I kept my insurance up to date, so they never really
That's good.
Right.
didn't really hassle, So
See, I don't even know when mine.
It's expired.
It's a month after your birthday.
In 27.
No, it's more than that.
Supposed to be
No, because mine was July 3rd.
Really?
Mine expires
My
in
birthday's in
27.
April. Okay. Yeah,
You got us all checking now.
Yeah, because mine expired today, but
Oh, yeah, I guess it's not exactly.
It's a little PSA out to everybody. You might just take a minute and just check the date on your expiration for license.
It's 29 days after my birthday.
yeah, mine is a couple months here.
But so I have one more year till I got to get it.
I think it was just the
Yeah.
last
Got
time I
you.
renewed it was in July, and that's probably why it was.
Yeah, it's when you renew. Yeah.
But I'm gonna get my vet status put on my license
Nice.
this time, so I'm gonna bring because they told me last time. Well, if you bring a DD-214, we could put that on there. I'm like,
That way
well,
you don't have to take your DD-214 with you all your veterans places.
Yeah, well,
Just show your military.
I had to give them a copy to get my license plates because my license plates are veteran plates,
Right.
and so I just kind of because they saw they had that, and that's when the guy said, well, if you're a veteran, you bring your thing. I put that on your license.
One less piece of paper you got to carry around.
So I'm gonna attempt to do that today.
Is it one of those that you can't laminate? Like that always annoyed me. Like your social security card, they print it on the flimsiest paper known to man.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't laminate it.
My DD-214 is not a.
It's on regular
It's
paper.
not a card.
Is it
It's a document.
Well, yeah, but
I guess we could laminate the whole paper.
the stock people tend to be.
Put it this way: what I've done is you only get one copy, but I've made copies, and so I've got
You got
a half
several.
dozen.
We
such
probably
copies.
need to make some
Probably
more.
need to update it. I was looking a little light in there, so I need to update.
And what you did,
Make
I
more
was
copies.
making the joke with Gene and Lana during the e-waste recycling event because we were talking about making copies of the keys. I said, well, just so you guys know, I make a copy of this key every month. Don't worry. I put it on a keychain with the name of the business and the address right there just in case it gets lost.
Exactly. Please, if found, return to.
That's what Hillary Banks used to do on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Don't worry, Daddy. I make a new copy every month.
That's kind of like in today's modern version of that. I saw a picture, which I'm going to guess was turned into a meme, of like a sign-up sheet. at an office that said, if you want your password updated and changed, put your old one down and what you request your new one to be. And there was a half dozen people actually dumb enough to put their name, put that on the list.
That's hacking 101, people.
It's like,
oh my God.
Well, they didn't break in technically. I gave them a key.
That's what I would call, and there's a term for it. It's called malicious compliance.
Right.
It's like, yeah, no, I'll comply, but I'm not happy about it.
I'm just like, at least a half dozen people put their name on that list before someone raised the flag.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots. But anyway, what were we talking about before that?
DD-214s.
Oh, yeah. So, I have to go
military
show that.
IDs and your driver's license and all that.
I'm going to do that today.
Do you know now you can make an appointment to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles?
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah.
In fact, the last time I went to an MVD, it was an MVD Express because I was not aware you could make an appointment.
Yeah, I got an appointment.
Yeah. So just another PSA to people listening. If you haven't been to the DMV in a while, you can schedule an appointment online.
Yeah. My appointment has been scheduled for Thursday, July 3rd, 10:45. To manage your appointment, please stop there.
Last time I got my license, I did that, and it was pretty quick.
That is good timing, too, because, they're going to be closed tomorrow for the 4th and then for the long weekend.
I would have been in expired mode.
I would have been driving.
Of course, I guarantee if you'd have gotten popped on it, you wouldn't have gotten anything but a warning.
I'm sure.
Because, it's one day expired over a long weekend.
I'm sure I get some kind of citation, and I have to go to the courts and show them I have a good license.
It's funny. It reminds me of there's things that everybody just knows, but nobody really knows where we learned them from.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those things is, everybody knows your license plate is good for 30 days after it expires, that you're given a grace month. Everybody knows that.
Do they?
Where did we learn that?
Yeah, where does that come from?
I don't know, but everybody I've talked to, like, everybody knows that. I didn't at first. Thanks for telling me. But,
I think that's just like one thing someone started, and in reality, it's not true.
It's just funny because I
didn't know that.
I was part of those generations of people that didn't have the internet, but yet stuff got around. Like everybody knew if somebody's driving around at dusk with their headlights off, you don't flash them to turn those headlights on.
That's true.
Everybody knows that. Everybody heard that story. There's always all those those stories or those things that get around somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really totally sure how.
But this is where you also get into where every town or neighborhood has their version of Goat Man or whatever, the Mothman or some dumb thing.
The other one, and we've talked about this before. I think it's been long enough that we can rehash it. But the stylized S. Everybody did that thing with the 3 lines and then the 3 lines down here, and then you connect it, you make the S. Where did we learn to do that? Like everybody just did it. And there was no TV show that it was in or movie that it was in.
I don't know if it started in the 70s, but I see all it in the 80s. And I also know it was popular in the 90s.
Well, I watched a whole documentary about this.
Yeah.
About how this S has just permeated culture. Like other countries do that S. And nobody knows where it started or emanated from, but we just all
I think it's literally
thing.
Someone saw them doodling on their book cover, and someone did it, and someone said, that's cool, and watched them, and then I can do it too. And then, because I did the same thing, I think I saw someone else do it on a doodle patch, and I said, and I remember in school, I literally, because back then you had to put when grocery bags were still those brown paper bags, you had to put those on your books, your school books, and by a weekend, you had about 30 doodles and whatnots on there, and I'm telling you, I had about 6, especially
Metallica logo, stylized S,
the S, and pull back the curtains. My real last name is Sisson, so I had a lot of opportunities to do that S.
Yeah, I was very excited with my name Sean. It was it opened up a lot of doors. I was able to take that S that everybody else did and make my own because I would curve the sides and
sometimes
make it all
I do. I'm going to go box style this time.
This time I'm going a little.
Don't always have to be triangles.
I'm going a little gangster.
Yeah.
Sometimes you connect the S's at the bottom with triangles, and sometimes you just capped them off.
I tried to draw flames at the top of the bottom. It didn't look so good. It looked kind of stupid.
Did you? Now this is something I'm curious about. Did you ever try to make a logo?
No, I was never a logo guy.
No, years and years ago, I tried to figure out how to take my first and last initial, which again, pull back of the curtain. My real last initial is M. So I had to take the S and like put it on top of an M and like make it all. So I tried to figure all that out years and years ago, but
if I did, it wasn't for any lengthy period.
See,
of time.
now I would just do that stylized S and then just put a 2 because it's squared.
Yes.
Yeah, Sean Smalls. But yeah, it's
Our
one of those.
guest here, by the way.
Yes, it's one of those things that it just everybody knew.
Yeah.
But nobody knows where it emanated from.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah, every once in a while, I still do it.
I was gonna say we've changed your folder, but the old one had one on there.
But I think we were talking about the S.
Because that's how long ago it was. Hence the rehash. Every time Mike takes a vacation, he comes back to an emptier folder. So this is a newer one. So I'm going through, I'm like, why do we have stuff from January in here?
I blame my mother. She
No, you know
had
what it is?
that she put that gene in me.
I used to walk around, like my older jobs, I'd always walk around with a stack of papers just so I looked like I had something to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I look
keep,
important.
Keep the boss off your keister.
Amy McVeigh is going to join us here from the Historical Society in mere moments. Of course, they are having a 4th of July event out at the Historical Society there at the museum tomorrow, 4th of July. So we'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk a little bit about our very own John LeMay is going to be at Galacticon this year with some of his books and all that good stuff. So we'll talk UFO Festival, our 4th of July celebration, Galacticon, and other Historical Society stuff here in just a bit. But first, your weather.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We could still get a few showers or thunderstorms today. Mix of sunshine and clouds, and we'll be in the mid-80s. Maybe a leftover shower till about midnight tonight. A few clouds, and we're in the upper 60s, and then everything dries out for Independence Day. We're looking pretty good. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures will be warming up a little bit. Mid-90s on the high, and then sunny and hot for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 74 degrees here in Roswell. It says overcast. Yes, but I'm going to go partly cloudy because I see little patches of blue. I'm an optimistic guy. So we're going to call it partly cloudy. It's 74 right now. Humidity's at 19%. Winds are calm at the moment. That's a little surprising. 19% humidity. I feel like it's going to be a little thicker than that right now. But we do have rain chances today. There is a 60% chance of rain, mainly after 3 o'clock. Partly cloudy with a high of 84. South winds 5 to 10. They are expecting less than a tenth of an inch of rain unless we get a thunderstorm. Tonight, we're looking at a 30% chance of rain, mainly before 9 p.m. So, sweet spot for rain after 3, before 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy, early, gradually clearing as the night progresses, with an overnight low of 68. South winds 5 to 10. So, if the drone shows at 9 tonight, that's right at the end of the window of rain. So maybe, just maybe, we'll be blessed there. I'm a little worried about some live music this afternoon. That might be a problem, but hopefully not. Hopefully they said, you know what, you've had enough rain this week. We'll shut her down for now. But there is the potential today. Good news is it pretty much ends after today. For your Independence Day tomorrow, sunny skies and warm, 95 for a high. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, skies will be mostly clear with an overnight low of 69 degrees, west winds 5 to 10, which is also good news for those shooting off their fireworks and everything else. Less wind is your friend. Don't be an idiot, please. You have to live with your neighbors. Don't make them mad tomorrow night, please. Anyway, Saturday, going to be a scorcher, sunny, hot, high of 100, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear Saturday night with an overnight low of 70. There is a 20% chance of rain for Sunday, mostly sunny and 95, 30% Sunday night, and a 20% when you head back to work on Monday, sunny with a high of 93. All right, it is 9:23. We're going to take a quick 90-second break. Yeah, only a minute and a half. So we'll go a quick minute and a half break, and then Amy McVeigh will join us on the other side. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Chef Anthony Noble at the Valley Cafe located at 801 West Brasher in Roswell. We want to welcome you for dinner 5 to 8 p.m. weekdays, except Wednesday we close at 2 p.m. If you haven't tried our food yet, I hope you come try one of our dinner entrees, pasta, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches, and our weekly specials as well. Let me make you great dinner. Visit the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell.
Can't see us in person? Find our full menu on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
This just in, Roswell Hyundai is giving you an explosive chance to win. Yup, Roswell Hyundai is giving away a massive $300 fireworks package from Amy's Fireworks this Thursday at noon sharp. Stop by Roswell Hyundai and register now. While you're there, check out the slashed prices across the lot, with many vehicles just $222 a month, plus 0% for up to 60 months on 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe. No payments for 90 days and up to $2,000 for your trade. Blowout savings and explosive prizes are waiting for you at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Amy McVeigh-Tejas back with us from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. Good morning.
Good morning.
You all ready for this weekend? We got
Absolutely.
a busy week. Of course,
we're ready.
Of course, it is a busy weekend with UFO Festival and Galacticon and all this going on. But tomorrow is Independence Day.
Yeah.
And the Historical Society is gonna, we're gonna have a little fun on Independence Day ourselves and say, hey, we'll spend a few minutes and come celebrate our country, and we'll have some cool things for you to check out, and some refreshments and things, and just come spend a lazy Friday afternoon with us, kind of thing, out at the J.P. White home.
That's right. We're going to have some fun. We've got some friends coming to be part of the celebration, and we're really excited.
Got a stock car for people to check out.
Right.
We got and from what I'm understanding is we'll have the chuck wagon, but like if you miss it, this might be one of your final opportunities to participate and see that.
Through John and Sharon Drewston, that's for sure. Now, we don't know the future of Miss Indiana.
Sure.
I can't remember how many years they've had Miss Indiana, that beautiful chuck wagon. But I think this is going to complete our partnership with the Drewstons in this. So if you've been wanting to be part of that, and we've gotten some calls about that, we really encourage you to come out, because after that, there's really no guarantees. Yeah. So I know Danielle will be out to take some pictures and enjoy.
Pardon the pun, we're going out with a bang.
That's right.
On 4th of July.
That's right. For sure. We're going to have a lot of fun. I was just talking to Kat Pappas. She's one of our volunteers, college student, and she's was very specific, Mike, on her requests for face painting. Tattoos were very specific with the glitter and the good paints and the red, white, and blue. So we're going to have, she loves to do that. We've got the Ackerman family that's going to come out to be part of the festivities.
Nice.
Now watch out, because they're going to be in charge of the outside activities.
Very cool.
So there is going to be some fun.
Well, he's got that education teacher brain.
You better believe it.
So whatever it's going to be, it's organized.
Oh, they're going to be fun. They're going to be fun. We've got some treats, for sure. We've got everything from flags to cookies, to treats, to even some armbands and fun things while supplies last.
Yeah.
So you better show up at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
So while you're doing all your stuff, take a voyage a few blocks west and come on down and
for sure,
and check it out. It's completely free. Doesn't cost anything.
There's no.
And I was thinking, with the face painting, since they're probably clearly better than anything, you yourself could do or something like.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm thinking, even if you're wanting to get UFO'd up, Be like, I'm going to go get my makeup done over at the face paint at the store, and I'm going to venture back over for the contest.
See, we're going to add some red, white. Hey, we're going to add a lot of red, white, and blue into that green.
Absolutely.
So you can have the flag.
Well, I'm just saying, you could do like Patriotic Alien. Just saying, yeah.
100%, yes. Love it, love it. So we're really excited about it. I know John LeMay won't be at the 4th of July event because he'll be with our amazing Elaine and all the fun festivities at Galacticon. Now, I don't know if we've said it on the air or not. So tomorrow on July 4th, John LeMay will be at the Galacticon, but on Saturday, July 5th, we'll have Donna Blake Burchell and John LeMay.
Okay, so Donna's going to come down.
Donna's going to come out. We're so excited.
Good
so
deal.
I know she'll be there on Saturday, and we're always happy to work with anybody on anything. Just regarding books, special requests, or anything, call 622-8333 if you need more information on that.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of books, a lot of fun things.
And John's, and we've talked about this before, yes, a lot of people know John for his local history books and things like that, which, yes, he's got a ton of them, and he's got a new one out and everything else, too. But John is equally respected in the Godzilla history world, too. Like, He's got a international footprint.
He does.
In the Godzilla, like he does podcasts. He's a leading authority in the Godzilla history. Mm-hmm. His books, his knowledge is a reference point for others in that world.
And quite a few other interesting things.
So, and Galacticon gives him a chance to play that side of it a little bit too.
He thrives with it. So shout out to John. Shout out to Donna Blake Burchell. If you're asking yourself, who is Donna Blake Burchell?
She's the John LeMay of Eddy County.
And they have some fun projects coming out. Yeah. We're really excited about their books coming out in the fall. So a lot of fun things. You need to know more.
Now John's dabbling in this too, but she gets into the paranormal. I mean, not always, but she's got like where John goes Godzilla, she goes ghost story.
She does. And so she does. And she's going to do that research and take that beautiful Bronco out and dig deep into the research and get that firsthand information. She's a lot of fun.
So she's got a lot of the paranormal side. I know she hosts a few like ghost tours and stuff down in Carlsbad area and all that stuff.
But John and Donna are both up to, I can't keep up with them. They're doing so many fun things. But you can follow us at roswellnmhistory.org. Mm-hmm. You can call 622-8333. If you have research needs, now John's going to be a little bit busy. Our archives, we're all going to be a little bit busy. But you can always call 622-1176 for more information.
Absolutely.
We've been working on a lot of projects, including some exhibits that are new exhibits to come out in the future. I know we're going to have some new exhibits flying in for the air show kind of deal.
Nice, very good.
We're excited.
And on top of that, too, I know, of course, we do have our 4th of July event tomorrow beginning at 1. Yep. But the museum will also host some special hours during the UFO Festival
and we've got
weekend as well,
special promotions on books. Any purchase you make in the museum all weekend, you're going to get a little blessing.
Oh, nice.
So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 1 to 4. So there will be fun activities, fun gifts, fun blessings, fun bags, and it will be a lot of fun all weekend. So if you can't make it tomorrow, because I know a lot of things are going on tomorrow.
Now, we got a lot more food and fun tomorrow than Saturday and Sunday, but
right.
equally cool
That's
stuff.
Right.
No stock car on Saturday.
And Fred's not going to be there, so we're opening up the refrigerator and offering ice cream while supplies last.
Fred, you hear
that?
that?
If you're listening.
That she's about to out your secret stash of ice cream.
He has stash, and let's just clarify. And I back it up. I don't say anything on the radio that I will not back up. There is ice cream in the freezer, in the archives, and we are handing it out because Fred can't be there tomorrow.
Well, Fred, pull back the curtain. Fred is amazing at keeping up task on our grounds.
He was there yesterday.
By far, he's got probably the busiest volunteer position because his job never ends. It's always about the maintenance and the upkeep of that facility, and it's a 100-plus-year-old building. That's all it is maintenance and upkeep.
So I've been on vacation, Mike, and I kept getting. So we were flying back from New York, and my phone was pinging. Oh, it's going to cost you a lot more for this. Oh yeah, bring on the ice cream.
But Fred works in ice cream, and that's
he
what.
Does,
so
I
think. So don't give away all his ice cream because we do need things fixed.
Mike, we need like an ice cream sponsorship for Fred Boggs. If you're listening,
we're in the dairy industry. Anybody want to hook us up with the little ice cream?
No pun intended. Dairy Producers has provided a multitude of ice cream for Fred, but at some point we need
We need an
sponsor
official
with this.
Fred fund.
We need a Fred fund. We need a sponsor. That could be fun. We need an ice cream fund for Fred.
Hey, we know somebody. Maybe we can get them to get
He's around the museum all the time. You can put your logo on his T-shirt.
Fred's
He
pretty
likes
open
bright
to
colors. Oh, yeah. Oh, heck yes. You want, we could even put some kind of logo on his truck.
I'll tell you,
he's there a lot.
We could put him in a NASCAR outfit and, put all kinds of ice cream logos
we
on
need
there.
the sponsor Fred Fund. He's done a lot for the Historical Society for years. My life with him, I can't imagine it. He's a dear friend, and I adore him. And he has a servant's heart.
He does. He does. All jokes aside, yeah,
all
he's
jokes
amazing.
aside,
But
he is a
pull back the curtain,
silent
really does
servant.
love ice cream.
The future, yeah. Nobody else can know that.
I mean, I
secret.
love ice cream. He loves ice
He likes it. Yeah, he does. He does.
Like it's part. They don't teach us anymore, but it's the fifth food group. Back when they used to teach us four food
with
groups.
all the four,
it was the fifth in his world. The ice cream's the fifth food group.
Oh, for sure. That's for sure. Part of his diet. We've got a lot of other things going on, though. So I brought some information. I brought our beautiful posters are out. The invitations have been mailed out. So if
we got a heritage dinner coming up.
We have a heritage dinner coming up on August the 26th. So it is not invite only. Somebody asked me the other day. So I only wish we could mail out like 50,000, 40,000.
No, we invite all. It is invite only, but we invite everybody.
This is our official invite for the heritage dinner.
Yes.
There should be if you want a poster, the posters are beautiful. So fun fact about our poster, Danielle Gonzalez, thank you, DCG Photography. She does a great job.
She does a lot of, like a matter of fact, she could
background-
probably do work for your business if you want.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The background of our posters is part of our display. It's the stained glass right there in the museum.
Very beautiful.
That was donated by First Baptist Church when they remodeled. So Beacons of Hope, we think that the stained glass is a beautiful, colorful reflection of hope.
Yep.
And so Beacons of Hope, if you see a poster around town or if you own a business or anything and want one of our beautiful posters, give us a call at 622-8333.
You're going to leave me one
for
of
more
those, right?
information. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's
I
so
got a wall to put it back up on.
Yeah, you got the wall. So
Yeah.
once the 4th of July stuff comes, we can, but it's about that time. So Beacons of Hope, we're honoring the Assurance Home Community Kitchen, Harvest Ministries, and Port Clare Monastery of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So
Yeah.
if you go onto our website right now, the wish lists are booting up. We're fixing to add the Community Kitchen website right now.
Yeah.
I'll speak on behalf of Community Kitchen. If you go right now to our website, and we're going to add, they can always, they always need volunteers, monetary donations, those kinds of things. But we need you to make your reservation. So August 26th, a box for two is $120, great menu. A dinner bundle that will feed 10 for $600, and you can split that up. You and I have talked about that. You can buy a couple for yourself
Sure.
and then share and pay
Yeah,
it
if you want to
forward,
buy like for
and
your
we'll-
organization or business and say,
Sure,
all right, can you take two
yes.
meals here and two? Now the only thing is we can only split it up 5 ways. That's as far as we
Right,
can
that's
go.
true.
We
That
can't
we
break
can't
up
do-
boxes, but we can send one box to 5
that's
different
right,
locations.
because
if
you
want.
want everything in there.
Yeah.
We're working on a commemorative booklet. We had a silent, I'm going to go ahead and go on air and say something that's very unique about our blessing bags that you always get as part of that. Mike, there's going to be something in there that you won't be able to obtain otherwise, and that's the 75th anniversary of the Port Clare Monastery. They have this beautiful, magnificent commemorative booklet.
Oh, cool.
And one of our silent angel donors donated booklets for all the bags.
So all the goodie bags will have one of these booklets.
Yes. So some of our wish lists for the Historical Society, we're looking for sponsors for all 4 organizations. Well, what would that mean? I want to go on air and say we had a silent donor that will be providing meals to the Assurance Home. Amazing.
And if you don't want to be silent, that's okay too.
Oh, heck yeah. If
We'll-
you
we'll-
want, but whether you want to be silent or
Yeah.
you want to be a donor, we would love the Community Kitchen, Harvest Ministries, and now Port Clare Monastery. They're going to be a little bit. We would love sponsors, whether you want it to be silent or not.
Sure.
We have a sponsor for Assurance Home. We're looking for sponsors for these organizations. Now, what would that mean? We would love to deliver bundles to these organizations to have their own celebration.
Absolutely.
Take a moment to celebrate all that they've done.
Absolutely.
And they are beacons of hope. And there will not be anything but hope and joy and tributes to be part of this event.
Well,
and this event is by popular request.
This is what you would not realize the impact this community would be in if these organizations did not exist.
That is for sure. 100%.
We would not be anywhere near where we're at without these great organizations we're
Yes.
spotlighting with the
Yes.
Monastery, Harvest Ministries, the Community Kitchen, the Assurance Home. These are
That's
these are
right.
staple, and every one of them are are organizations that have been doing this a long time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This isn't like, don't get me wrong, it's not that length, but when you have organizations that for 20 plus years have been doing this, you know, and staying afloat through good times and bad. I mean, think about all the different things that have impacted this community over the last 20 years, and they've ridden those storms over the years.
These are well-oiled engines.
And so we not only want to, you know, celebrate them, but also put a spotlight on people that may not know about these things and get involved, you know, because I'm telling you right now, Harvest Ministries does amazing work from a lot of things, but they ain't happening unless people are donating food to them.
Well, and you know what we're finding out, Mike, as we're taking a moment to really celebrate all four of these organizations. You think you know all about them? No, you don't.
You don't.
If you're listening and you have not been to Harvest Ministries lately, oh my goodness, no matter what you hear, if you haven't, hey, we were working at the community kitchen and they had to deal with some unique situations. And I'm going to tell you one thing. We never stopped serving food through that unique situation. They deal with hardships and unique situations and hostility and unique. But you know what I love about them? They put a smile on their face and they keep serving.
Well, that's just it.
And that's
You're dealing
what it's
with,
all about.
And some of the clientele, let's face it, they're having mental health issues and things, as you know,
or
one
just
could imagine.
A horrible time.
When you get put in situations, your mental health deteriorates. That's what happens to all human beings.
Yes.
And that's what's going on here.
So on behalf of the Historical Society, we want to thank all of these organizations and others. You know, Jesus will come before we honor all the nonprofit, amazing organizations doing a great thing. But these four are beacons of hope, and we're going to take a moment to celebrate. So you can look on the website for wish lists. You can obtain tickets.
That would be the big thing. You know, if you even like this, I'd even say, even if you're saying, you know what, I can't afford a meal, but you know what, I can buy
make a donation
to one of the organizations or
just
volunteer
a small donation
time.
To each one, absolutely.
I know Community Kitchen, like they like when other organizations put a team together and they say, hey, we're I don't know, the Altrusans, hey, we're going to come and do Saturday or whatever day.
Well, what I love is once we started volunteering for the Historical Society, and we have before, but we started and we have a regular time. They were needing board members, and one of our volunteers, Debbie Balthaser, hello Debbie, I hope you're listening. She said, I'll be on the board and I can represent my church, which is First Baptist, and the Historical Society. So I think things like that create opportunities like for myself and churches.
Something
and all
begats
that.
this, and it's so great when everyone's working together.
Yes,
and
that's what it's all about.
And that's why it's and each one of these organizations do their own unique thing. Assurance Home.
Yep.
You know, there are so many youth that go through that camp, that organization that don't have any real options here, and they come out with a foundation. And
you better believe it.
Thing.
You better believe it. And then the Port Clare Monastery, whether you are Catholic or just respect their commitment and dedication to prayer, you can go to the location. You can make a donation.
They got a prayer hotline.
You can. Well, it's amazing. They have an amazing website, and they're active on social media. Yeah. But if you have never been to the Port Clares, you can drive out there. They have special hours. Mike, you can buy a card, a little rosary, and do things.
Well, and I'll tell you this. And I mean, our family's done it ourselves once or twice over the years. When you have those times are tough, and it's like, you know what? It can't hurt. I'm calling the prayer hotline, and let's, power prayer. Let's get and I don't care what anybody says. That's the strongest gift anybody. At the end of the day, if you have the faith and power of faith, that's, I know it's the easiest thing, but also the most powerful thing, if that makes sense.
We have had a couple of individuals drive up to the Historical Society in some dire circumstances, and they have gone by there, and we have success stories, and I think that's one thing. Through prayer, when things happen, we need to validate great things are happening through their commitments.
So I love the fact, and like you said, don't matter, Catholic, not Catholic.
Oh, it doesn't.
If you're a human being, you're a child of God, and let's see what we can do to help.
Or you're just a believer of hope.
Yep.
They can. So RSVP date is July the 28th. You can make purchases or donations or get the wish list by logging on to RoswellNMHistory.org.
Yep.
We're really excited. There's some really cool things.
And Peppers has knocked the menu out of the park once again. They always do.
Yes, they do. They do. Some fun things coming up, and I know you love to talk about food because that's fun.
I'm fueled by it.
Texas Roadhouse Night in July is July the 22nd. Mark your calendars and have a date night or
get a good steak,
you better believe it.
Or not steak. They got a lot of things that aren't steak if you don't want steak.
July the 22nd. You do need this image. It'll be posted on our Facebook and website and everything. And we're always into saving lives together through blood drive. Next blood drive, mark your calendars, is Tuesday, August the 12th. And for some of you who prefer not to schedule your own appointment, you can call or text me at 575-915-4471.
Get them locked in. And I will say, as I say every time, Amy goes above and beyond whenever we host the Bloodmobile, the blood drives. She, because they always give you the cookies and tea and juices and all. She's got goodie bags for everybody that donates blood with some pretty cool little thank you gifts and things.
Yes,
and so,
Jason Garcia, shout out. He literally him and Zeta were working the Main Street. Everything. They came and caught me at the door, and Jason's amazing doing things. But our board president, Jason Garcia, he works hard, and he does offer wonderful blessings. Him and the New Mexico Military ROTC, we love to celebrate their legacy, so they're good to show up and work together on.
It's so cool. But again, back where we're talking about, working together, partnership.
You better believe it.
And this is kind of what the Historical Society does. Yes, at the end of the day, we're known for the museum, the archives, the purveyor of that history and everything else. But everything is history. Everybody's getting involved, and through the scholarships, thanks to some generous benefactors, we're able to offer these scholarship programs and to be that conduit to inspire the next generation to turn on history. Our history clubs in the high schools and stuff. That's Travis and these guys. They're working hard to try to get that back in strong into schools again. That's all part of what the Historical Society does.
Through New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy.
Yeah, serving through those things.
I don't think I've been on the radio, so we had the privilege of giving out over $3,000 from some generous private donors for a youth challenge. And I'll never forget this. Our grant recipient, $750. She came up to me and she said, "This is a life changer, and nobody's believed in me that didn't already know me." And I thought, see, that's we don't have to know you to celebrate history.
Well, this is why it's cool to do these things, because we all know what we know. Yep. And we know it through our own experiences in life. And some people have had amazing people to mentor and guide them.
That's
Others
true.
have not.
Have not.
But one thing you do is you learn most of what you know from experiencing it, trial and error. And some of the folks that are coming out of this organization are coming from places that were hard. They didn't have all the tools that some of us were blessed to have, or they weren't dealt the same deck of cards everyone else is.
Sure, whether you're youth challenge, whether you're high school, it doesn't matter.
And so sometimes doing something as simple as a $750, which is a big deal, but in the scope of things, it
may
really,
not be, but it's more than just the money.
When someone says someone did something or believed in me, and I really didn't do anything above and beyond to earn, you know what I mean? It's hard for people to wrap their head around, random acts of kindness or just, what do you mean? I didn't do anything for this.
I know.
Why am I doing it?
What are you doing?
Because I want to see you do well, and this is going to help you do that. And that's where the people, especially when you've been dealing with negative, it's easy to be negative, to build your walls and everything else, but to integrate, to instill the server side into them again, to understand that, to have your own gains, you have to serve others, and things like that.
Mike, our family's been expanding because now we've been giving scholarships so long. Yeah. We have married couples with children. Shout out to Kason Jones. He's one of our past scholarship recipients. He just took his wedding pictures with Danielle right in the museum.
That's cool.
So we have the little Historical Society scholarship. I guess I'd call them my grandchildren.
There you go.
It's so
That's like
amazing.
Kim with her teachers. She's got her grand students.
Yes,
and,
I love that.
Deal.
So we have married couples with children. They are never not part of our family.
Yep.
And while I'm thinking about, I was just at Sam's last night and somebody said, "Amy, why are your scholarships just for local kids to go to local colleges?"
That's not true at all.
Let me be clear.
Yeah.
Whether your child, grandchild, cousin, neighbor's going to Notre Dame, NMUR, a trade school, and that's something else very important.
Yeah.
We support future
Absolutely.
endeavors, and it doesn't have to be local because we've got Oklahoma State, Penn State. We have
Not to mention kids from all over the state apply for it. They're not just Roswell or
No, they're
Southeast.
not.
I mean, we have kids from all corners of the state that do put
and what I
applications.
like about this is we have our Youth Challenge kids. They were Arizona, Oklahoma, northern part of the state.
So
They're wanting to
beyond the
bring their
border.
families back to Roswell to have that tour experience.
So yes, we do have Roswell, Goddard, and
We do.
Hagerman
We
students,
do.
but we also have Fort Sumner
And
and
wherever they're going
Albuquerque
to
and Las
school.
Cruces,
Oh, yeah.
and some of them go
But
to.
we're open
Yeah,
to-
they're
we
and
are.
to be honest, some may start here. Okay,
Well,
they're going to
that's
go to
true.
Eastern, but guess where
That's
they end
right.
up? They're down in Harvard, or they're in Penn State, or whatever, some major university.
Yes,
you
we
know?
have a large family.
Yeah, so yes, it's got a local touch, but it's
It
got
does.
a bigger imprint than
Oh, for sure. And we're proud of our
absolutely.
kids.
And again, thank you to the of course, the Hayes family, but they're
gosh.
not the only ones. There's many
No,
other families, many other people.
Alfredo Garcia with Ravega, he stepped up
Yeah.
and made it possible for us to offer an additional $500
Yeah,
scholarships.
they're the reason we can
That's
do this.
Absolutely.
They're the absolute
so,
only reason.
and there's no amount too small. We may give a gift card of hope. We did. And that's wonderful too. So whether it's scholarships, something, John, we have upgraded. We're working on a new website, so you can log on to our new website. Just confirming there's a beautiful button that says book your tour now.
Nice.
Make your life easy.
Perfect.
It's been there. We
Online
remind
sign-up,
people
yeah.
all the time. Now, over the weekends, since we're doing something unique, it will not be
It'll
available.
be
but
there's
from here
business
on out,
hours this weekend. yeah.
Exactly. But in the future, we had an early riser that wanted an early tour, and we made it happen. It wasn't Fred, but we made it happen.
Wasn't enough ice cream to lure
If
him
you
that
want an
early.
autograph or a tour by Fred or John LeMay, let's go a little bit later,
Yeah.
not real early,
They-
or it'll cost.
They are what we not call morning people.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to our dear friend Gary. I hope he's listening. He's got guests. He's our friend. He's going to
Yep.
be out bringing some friends. I just love our sweet people.
Absolutely.
That are silent servants.
Yeah, in case
Just
y'all never
helping out.
noticed, John LeMay has never done an interview in the 7 o'clock hour on this show ever.
I thought.
And if you heard him, it's because I replayed it.
God bless his heart.
That's
There is
right.
a lot of things he'll do, but
Yeah.
you know what? Everybody draws the line at some point,
get it.
right?
I get it.
Whether it's late for some.
I'd be that same way, but they kept insisting the morning show's on in the morning, so here I sit. You know?
So the challenge is out. We can do a unique challenge. See what it would take to get John LeMay on the radio at
There you go.
7:15 in the morning.
Maybe we'll add that to the Chia challenge we're going to work on here.
Oh, see, there you go.
and that's still on the burn. We're
Okay.
still, with the UFO Fest, we've kind of had to
Got
take
a lot of
quiet.
things going on.
But I'm thinking, what we're leaning, and I got to get with Tanner and those guys. But we do some kind of 24-hour cam
Live
on these
cam
bad
things.
boys, and to ensure, because I swear someone tampered with that. I will go to my grave saying someone tampered with my Bob Ross. So I want none of those chicanery or shenanigans going on here.
We need like a protective net or
Yeah,
something. But it's not, we need the live cam, but
The
we
cam
need to
on
do that. And we have a lot of fun. And all things aside, anything we can do to support history if you have needs. Oh, and the archive facility. I just got a text. It is available for rental.
Yes.
Got a call the other day saying, why are you not renting out the archive facility?
Who said we weren't?
We've never not been able to rent out the archive facility. We've got a contract and we've got to comply with insurance. Other than that, we're good to
and
go.
we haven't had
available
any,
for rental.
issues
It's so
with the
nice
facility.
and clean.
That,
no,
exactly.
it's so nice and clean. So if you need information about that,
Absolutely.
call 622-8333.
Yeah.
We're always willing to
And like
help
you were
with
saying
that.
earlier with the weddings and stuff, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, bridal pictures, reception pictures.
yes.
Our property is, especially this time of year when the green is up and all
Oh,
that,
for
it's usually a
sure.
pretty good time. But
Great
like if you wanted to
images.
host now it's only 75 capacity in there, so
Right.
it would be a small one. But if you got a little wedding like that, a reception,
The Ackermans
we can
did.
host. Yeah, exactly.
My
Like I
son
said,
did.
don't be
It's a
inviting.
beautiful
Like
evening.
if you need an excuse to say we're not inviting everybody.
Limited, 50.
See, we only
something.
got the archive. They only hold like 75. That's
There
it.
you
that's,
go.
That's
See?
capped.
There you go. Yes.
So you can't invite
Beautiful
cousin
facility.
Louise. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility.
If you need that help, we can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. You better believe it.
That's right. Do we get everything?
I hope so. If you have any information, we've got the event sheets. I know that the UFO, all the events, we've got those sheets. So come by tomorrow and we
Yes.
can get all the information about all the activities
we'll have
for the
those for you.
weekend and that kind of thing.
And then don't forget online, you can always at UFOfestival.com, everything galacticon.com. If you also picked up the Vision, it's in the Wednesday edition of the Roswell Daily Record. Even if you already have a schedule, pick this up anyway, because it's got so many cool little stories about the different, some of the artists or some of the people that are going to be participating
Huge shout
in
out
this.
to the Roswell Daily Record,
Yeah.
Christina Stock, everybody. Amazing job they do. We appreciate all.
And by the way,
their
they're the
work.
ones that are sponsoring your drone show tonight at 9 p.m.
Awesome.
Hopefully, we have no weather issues.
We're going to have it. We're going to thank it.
It'll go. So
Yes.
And of course, beginning at 1 o'clock tomorrow, come on down to the
1 to 4.
the Historical Society for our 4th of July tour shindig. Get together. We'll have the chuck wagon, the stock car. So many sweets and treats that'll make your head spin. And then, and of course, we will have 1 to 4 Saturday and Sunday open 4 hours during that time too. You just come. You don't need to schedule an appointment. Just bring your clan and come on down and join us.
And I'm going to finish on a teaser. I think we're fixing to schedule the museum day, Mike.
Oh, good.
So we're working on that, working on having a meeting.
That'll be like in the fall time frame?
October-ish.
October, okay.
So just a little teaser. For those of you wondering, Museum Day will occur in 2025. And after all these festivities, we'll get working on all of it.
And I know it's way too early, but will the Roswell... I know they will have a presence one way or another.
They are going to have...
But will we have any ability to get in that building by that time, you think?
Not that I know of,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'll finish with this positive note. Through the resilience of the Roswell Museum, I know they've got a lot of things going on. Their presence will be prominent. It may just look different, but you know, through arts,
they've kind of had to go.
love different.
They kind of had to share facilities and things.
Under horrible, tragic circumstances, different will prevail in a unique manner to celebrate art, and that's what's most important.
It's going to Phoenix on you.
That's
Rise
right.
from the ashes.
That's right. That's right. So we appreciate you, all that you do, and have a great weekend. Support everything going on.
Thank you for everything you do. And like I said, and don't forget, too, RoswellMHistory.org. If you want to, we've got birthdays and stuff, you can shop.
Oh, yeah.
John LeMay, Donna Birchall books, our Peter Hurd prints. Yep. We got so many, I think we got some Elvis Fleming books on there still.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a few.
we do.
Yeah, so there's, we got some great books, authors covering, and of course, maybe if you see Donna and John at Galacticon this weekend, then you can go kind of dig into the vault on our website there and see some of their other books and stuff too. So
now's the time. Get the book. Yep, get that.
And then don't forget, that's where you also can go to start securing your reservations for
Please
Heritage
do.
Dinner.
Yeah, and pay it forward. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Amy.
Happy day.
Stay.
And happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day.
Yes. Stay dry today. Stay cool.
We're gonna
tomorrow
do that.
and Saturday.
Absolutely.
And leave your fireworks off the event. We don't need the fireworks on the property. Save that for your own parties that night.
There you go. There you go. That's
Burn down
right.
your own houses. All right, it's 9:55. We're going to play some news before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin on the crime beat today. A man is arrested and charged with murder in connection with the Tuesday night shooting death of a woman. We first reported this story yesterday. 53-year-old Paul Cedillo Reyes is now accused of fatally shooting 46-year-old Nadia Madrid inside a home in the 1600 block of South Mulberry Avenue in Roswell. Family members describe Cedillo Reyes as an off-and-on boyfriend of Madrid. Cedillo Reyes reported the shooting himself, according to an RPD statement. He initially indicated that he had discovered the woman outside on the ground, but Roswell police say they located evidence indicating that Cedillo Reyes was responsible. This year's Artesia Girls Basketball Summer Camp was attended by 105 campers, and that's a record according to Coach Candy Pollard. The camp had 2 sessions that split up kindergartners through 5th graders in one group and 6th grade through 9th in another group. Pollard said her main goal with the camp is to instill a love of basketball into the students. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
You know, the idea that we shouldn't have billionaires, he said, I don't think that we should have billionaires.
All right, you are a self-described democratic socialist. Do you think that billionaires have a right to exist?
I don't think that we should have billionaires because, frankly, it is so much money in a moment of such inequality. And ultimately, what we need more of is equality across our city and across our state and across our country.
Equality. This is why I call him Marxist Mamdani, because to each according to his need, from each according to his ability. That's right out of Karl Marx's mouth. And that's exactly what he's talking about with equality here.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, it's Sean Hannity here. It's no secret I have been very outspoken ever since I was able to save money. I've been a long-time buyer of precious metals like gold and silver. In fact, I've been purchasing them for many decades now, and I'm so glad that I have. But who do I choose to help safeguard my money? Here's the deal. I've been with the award-winning precious metals dealer, Goldco, for years now. I am a customer of Goldco, and I was frankly relieved to find a great company that I trust and that I have stuck with, and they stick with me for the long haul. They keep it simple, and they've taught me a whole lot about the value of precious metals and how they can help protect your savings. I simply want you to call, no obligation, 855-815-GOLD, or just go to HannityGold.com. They'll send you a free 2025 gold and silver kit. You'll also learn about their unlimited bonus silver offer, and you're not going to want to miss that one, trust me. Anyway, call now, 855-815-GOLD, or just go to HannityGold.com. That's HannityGold.com today. Hey.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. A better-than-expected employment report for June. The government says employers grew their payrolls by 147,000 jobs. Analysts predicted the addition of 117,000, a figure below the 139,000 jobs added in May. The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.1% in June from 4.2% in May. Unemployment applications dropped to 233,000 last week as layoffs remain low. Tesla stock has been gaining ground after the electric vehicle maker reported delivering nearly 374,000 of its Model 3 and Model Y automobiles last quarter. That was better than analysts were expecting, although the electric vehicle maker's overall sales tumbled 13% from a year earlier. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. On the floor of the House of Representatives, as he began the fourth hour of his filibuster against President Trump's big, beautiful bill, Democratic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries indicated he still had more to say.
I did want to take a little time at this moment to enter into the record some of the statements that have been made, Mr. Speaker, by